Skip station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Thursday. Don't let me call it Friday Eve. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. Oh, my goodness. Basketball everywhere, Chris. The Battle of NorCal. The Kings came so close, but did not get that trophy. The question is, do you want that trophy? Literally, you did want the win. Kings not able to get it, but there were a lot of great takeaways from that game. We will break all of that down. Also, Team USA gets it done against Team Canada. Dylan Brooks may be the best villain that we have. I mean, just the craftiness of what he does to just annoy people. It is second to none. Later in the show, much later in the show, as we take you up to 2 p.m., we get into some baseball. The all-star team, Elliot Ramos makes the team, but was he snubbed for the home run derby? We also get into the A's, and I wouldn't call it drama, but some question marks as far as what the Sacramento River Cats and the A's will have to do, and logistically how it might be a little bit of a nightmare, but that is much later in the show because we have all basketball to lead you up and some Niners news, Niners and Raiders, as the Brandon Ayuk situation may turn out the way it does when you are a player in the NFL and you don't have the same player empowerment as the players do in the NBA. So we have all of that for you. And, of course, Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner, is coming to Sactown. We want to get you in the building next Friday for the 38 special experience. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. I think it's my day to pick that number, so I'll pick that number to score a pair of tickets so you can check out an unforgettable night of Southern Rock courtesy of Thunder Valley Casino Resort. That is Lou Graham. A couple different names got thrown around yesterday as far as who it is, but it is Lou Graham. It went from Luke Bryan to Zach Bryan. We went in a lot of different places. We had a lot of fun yesterday. We're going to have just as much fun, if not more, today. Somebody's getting paid tomorrow, but we'll talk about that when it is Friday. Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Good. I mean, it's not me who's getting paid tomorrow. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
we're next week. We're next week.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. I can't keep track. I'm doing well. And for a second there, I was definitely wondering if they even cared about the NorCal trophy, if they cared about Mitch Richmond's legacy staying in Sac, because they were getting whopped for a minute there. I mean, at the beginning of the game, it looked like it was going to be the Pods and Trace Jackson Davis show. And yeah, I'm glad that they made it into a battle, man. But it was quite a night for basketball. And there was definitely some stuff that we're going to get into that I think is going to be pretty good today.
The number one thing, and this is at 11 o'clock, and we want everybody to kind of be a part of this as we always do, 916-339-1140. The number one thing is after Keon Ellis does what he does, 30 points, he balled out. Unfortunately, he fouled at the very end of the game, but we like the aggressiveness at the end of the day. That's what Summer League is for. Even if there's a trophy, that's what Summer League is for. Should Keon Ellis be the starting two? Okay, the shooting guard, the pseudo point guard with De'Aaron Fox. That is at 11 o'clock. Should it be Keon Ellis? Should it be Kevin Huerter? Should it be Malik Monk? That is at 11 o'clock, and that is something that we want everybody to be a part of because it is quite the hot button topic. And I have some thoughts on it as well, Chris. But you wanted to get into something. So I love it when, and I'm talking to the people here, I love it when Chris has a grind to gear, okay? And there were a lot of things that came out. We have more sound from the Hard Knocks. This time we have 2 wide receivers, okay, instead of the quarterbacks. And I thought it was really interesting. Could adding this draft portion of the show add more drama? But there's not just Hard Knocks, okay? You had the NorCal battle. Right. You had Team USA. Yep. You had my boy Drew Timme. And you also had the Netflix show Receiver. Yep. And you came to me. Yeah. And you were hot to trot on this receiver thing. I'm going to give you the floor.
Yeah, I loved the quarterback show. It was great. It had Kirk Cousins in it, which definitely was my lure into it as as a Viking fan here. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for paying attention. By the way, 10 to 2 again every single Monday through Friday.
I think he was just talking.
Yeah, maybe.
He knew you were a Vikings fan.
So.
I think I see him in the chat, Dave.
I don't think so.
Yes or no? Did you know Chris was a Vikings fan? I see you in the chat.
No, he left after calling your guys' show the wrong name too in the chat.
What did he say?
This guy's crazy.
He said, "Listen to Stiles and Watkins."
He's on.
This guy.
Well, I guess he's not on vacay.
Clearly on vacay mode. No,
yeah,
this man's on vacay mode. That's crazy.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, appreciate it. But anyways, yeah, I receiver had my interest for sure. I thought the quarterback show was great, and learned some things, and I thought it was entertaining to see everybody fall in love with Kirk Cousins, and you got the Patrick Mahomes angle of things, and Mariota was incredibly boring. And I was upset to find that everybody was incredibly boring to me. I only watched about 30 minutes of the first episode before I just turned it off.
Right.
I watched a little bit of everything yesterday for what it's worth. I watched the Battle of NorCal. Actually, I turned it off after the Kings went down 11 with about 3 minutes left, turned it over to the Team USA game. And it was I should have stayed. I should have stayed because I didn't know they were going to make that comeback. Mm-hmm. And definitely good to see them ultimately make that game close.
I mean, I can't lie to you. I'm not going to leave you out hanging to dry. I basically did the same. Yeah. I mean, they were getting smacked. And then they came, then they made it close, and then the Warriors kind of, had some space to get 2. Yes, and then the Warriors went on a run. So I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, and so Team USA, it was whatever. I didn't think that was super entertaining either. Switched over to the receiver show, hoping to just get, my guy Justin Jefferson's in it. This is great. First off, Justin Jefferson isn't involved until the second episode. Would have loved to know that beforehand.
Right.
So I didn't waste my time watching George Kittle smoke s'mores or whatever he was doing with his wife. It was just a bad show. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to have
good shows and bad shows.
Yeah, it's good shows, bad shows, and that was a bad show. We have a good show, and that was a bad show. I don't know what to – I feel like I'm going to have to rewatch quarterback to see if maybe I was just, in a zone at that point, and maybe I, just – thought it was more entertaining than it actually was, because I got nothing out of it. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown was talking about, we already knew his dad was Mr. Olympic or whatever it was. That was mildly entertaining, but then he goes on to talk about his touchdown celebrations and, Debo. It was not, I didn't find it very entertaining. If I hear good things about it, I'll probably finish it, but I thought it was terrible, and I was really disappointed because I thought it was going to be a great show, and I think the thing that we learned about Patrick Mahomes and Kirk, how Kirk prepares, it was a lot of the off-the-field stuff that I thought everyone was most interested in, and again, I'm only halfway through the first episode, but to me, it was just a lot of actual football, and I'm sorry, but I'm not here to watch a recap of the previous
I already know
season.
what happened.
I want to know more about these guys, and I want to know less about George Kittle, because I was telling you, dude was getting on my nerves already.
You think he's a cornball?
He's so corny.
Yeah.
He's so, I get it. He's fun-loving.
Nate.
It's good energy for a team. I'm not saying, I don't want him on my team. But just from an entertainment standpoint, doesn't do it for me.
Does it feel forced?
Very forced.
Yeah.
Very, very forced. And
because I think his whole bag was that it wasn't supposed to be forced.
Right.
This is just who he is. He just has Nate is refusing to be a part of the conversation.
And I'm not saying
I'll be a part of it. My thing is I'm so cynical and I hate stuff like that. I hate when people try so hard to be funny.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to come on here and bash my guy George Kittle one where the.
You don't have to bash.
Okay, now you're baiting me.
No.
You are baiting me into saying something bad to get me in trouble with the 49ers. I'm going to go to training camp next week.
In trouble with the 49ers.
All right, okay, we're coming out hot today. It's fine that he's annoying. That stuff is annoying. I can't sit here. I can't sit in this room and be a hypocrite because I hate stuff like that. I hate when people try so hard. I hate when people try to be your friend so hard. I hate when it's just over the top, dude, this isn't funny. Everyone loves him. Because it's almost everybody loves him. Just because it's like a bit. Oh, it's so cute. All this stuff. It's so surface level humor, and it wears on you. It's not that funny. I'm not saying he's a bad person.
No, not
this
at all.
isn't the Mason Jones conversation.
Okay.
This is a different.
All right. See, that's crazy. That's crazy. Mason Jones is authentic. All right.
No, dude. What even is authenticity? There's no like, what's authentic, man?
It's not.
What's
not
authentic?
same energy to me.
But like, okay, when we come on this show.
Okay. How about what Chris? When was that in the Super Bowl? When he said, what did George? No, it was in the NFC Championship. What did he say?
I don't know.
There was some term. It's almost a meme. They had us in the first half. Didn't George say that? And he knew he was mic'd up.
Yes.
That's the type of
he
stuff
said, I can't wait to say it.
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and then there's him at the Super Bowl saying, I will be back here. I will be back here and I will dominate.
And then what was it when we went back and forth? It was in the Super Bowl.
That's not even the stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's the stuff like doing the silly smile and waving at the camera.
Yeah.
And everyone's
the
like,
Rochambeau with the camera.
Listen, dude. I just don't like that stuff. I'm not saying I don't like, George Kittle. That's not my type of humor.
Yeah.
That's not my bit. I'm not into that stuff. But I'll be darned. My blood is crimson and gold. I will die a 49ers fan.
Sure.
And I will live as a 49ers fan.
Yeah.
Okay? It's never going away. It's going to take a lot for me to trash my guys. Okay? Those are my guys. I love the Niners. You're baiting me.
No,
you are baiting me. I know what you're doing.
Hey, Nate.
Yes, you went Nate.
Guy?
And then it chilled. And then he went, wait. Nate doesn't want to talk to us.
Because you took off your headphones.
Yeah, because I'm doing some business in here. I got some work going on in here. Some big business. And if you're in the YouTube, you're going to see during the breaks what that business is.
Okay, Nate with the business.
I'm just a big Niner fan, okay?
I
just love the Niners. And I'm biased, and that's fine. I have a Niners show here. Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, it's an AM thing. They can turn me down.
Coming up next, we get into the fight after the match with Colombia and Uruguay. Also, how bad the trophy was, and we break down the box score of the Battle of NorCal. That's all coming up next on Stiles and Watkins. Hi, George.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up! And call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
We have found the fire extinguisher and put it on Nate. Cooled him off on this. What is this? On Thursday. What do we call Thursdays? I know, Nate, you always say
do this every Thursday. We do this every
It's a
Thursday.
bit now. It's a bit.
Okay, then we got to find an answer.
We got to find an answer.
Because it's not a good bit.
It is.
I say Thursday.
George Kittle would love this
every
bit. George Kittle would love this bit, actually. He would.
What's the point of this? What's the point of anything? I'm packing up. See ya. I'm out.
Bye.
I had too much coffee today.
Way too much.
Again, 2 days in a row.
I told you be
Tweaked
careful
out
with
on
that.
coffee.
I told you be careful with that. Well, you know who else was on one last night? That was Keon Ellis. 30 points, 4 rebounds as the Kings fall to the Warriors.
The
91.
over on Prize Picks.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yes.
I think he's the only one who hit
we said under.
Oh, Mason Jones hit the over too, actually.
Ooh.
He was 8.
Keon Ellis, 30 points, 4 rebounds. Colby Jones, 12 points, 12 rebounds for Colby Jones. Mason Jones, 12 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Drew Timme, 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 clutch 3. Chris, let me ask you this before we're really going to get into the Keon Ellis starting conversation at 11. But you watch Summer League the same way I know Brandon Nunes, Frankie Cardicelli, yourself. I still need to get out to Stockton, but you watch these games and you'll see these guys that are two-way dudes that have gotten a little bit of time with the big team, right? With the NBA team, and they just cook, right? And because the speed is different, now you're going back essentially to the minors, you should cook.
Yeah.
So what should Kings fans take away from what we saw, not just from Keon Ellis, but from everybody in Summer League? Because you're playing your peers essentially, but Keon Ellis, who started literally the playing game, he should be doing this, I guess is what I'm saying. And how much should people be impressed versus, hey, Keon Ellis, he's an NBA guy now, right? He should be doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's impressive because he's clearly a level above, and that's exactly what you want to see. I mean, if he's playing with a bunch of G leaguers and he looks like, oh, this guy is clearly better than everybody, then I think that's a really good sign that what we've seen from Keon it's really just a confirmation of it. It's that no, like it wasn't just opportunity given. It's that this guy actually has skills and abilities outside of being in the system that make him a good player. It's not that just De'Aaron Fox gets a ton of attention and so he's taking wide open threes. We saw Keon make a wide array of shots. He had tip-ins. He had, drives where he does turnaround jumpers in the lane, had a couple mid-range jump shots, and, of course, hit some threes as well. From the Keon perspective, I mean, I just think you read it as this guy is clearly a legitimate NBA player. And, definitely showed that he's a level above. Like Brandon Podziemski is a starter as well. He got a handful of starts for Golden State, and I think he's going to start for them this year.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that Keon more than held his own against Brandon Podziemski and really was a really good defender on him throughout the duration of the game, I think it's a massive positive sign. And I don't think you are overreacting if you're incredibly excited by what Keon did last night. For everyone else, I mean, I think that it's really just about the skill sets. I think it is kind of figuring out, okay, Drew Timme, I think you were kind of joking about, that three he hit. I think that's a really big part of his progression. I think they said yesterday on the broadcast that he shot 40% from 3 last season in the G League. That's the kind of thing you want to see from Drew Timme. If you're someone who's legitimately excited about Drew Timme's pro potential, that's the exact kind of thing you want to see. So Mason Jones, you probably want to see him hit a couple threes and how he runs the offense. I think it's just more about, for everybody else who you don't have high expectations for, looking at the individual skills that they're bringing and trying to figure out because it is just a personal opinion for everybody. It's just trying to see, okay, I'm watching Colby Jones get 12 rebounds. Is that translatable to the NBA? Okay, Colby looks like he's struggling to get to the rim a lot. He's settling for a lot of mid-range jump shots. Is that because he trusts his mid-range a lot, or is it because he doesn't quite have the moves or the speed to get by guys, and that can be concerning. So I think it's just kind of taking individual moments from these guys and trying to project yourself, because there's not really any way of figuring out, okay, that's 100% translatable. Just because somebody has 25 points in a G League game or in a Summer League game doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a scorer at an NBA level. So it's just trying to see for yourself and trying to determine for yourself, do I think that the things that this guy is doing is translatable? A lot of people say, don't worry about the Summer League stats, worry about the actual in-game play of what they're doing.
And really, just as far as the game is concerned, you look at the Warriors and basically their whole starting 5 was in the minus for their plus minus, and everyone on the bench was in the plus. The difference in the game, really, Brandon Podziemski, 15 points. I mean, for somebody who was just playing with Team USA or USA Select, it was a bit modest, to be fair, but he was the guy going down the stretch. Only 1 for 6 from three-point land. Your boy, Trace Jackson-Davis, 11 points and 6 rebounds, so nothing crazy there. The issue was Kevin Knox, who's 6 years in the league, still trying to figure out just who exactly he's going to be. He had 19 points off the bench. he was 3 of 5 from 3-point range, perfect from the free throw line, 6 of 8 from the field. You had Kevin Knox balling out, and then you had Ethan Thompson, not Klay Thompson, no relation, I don't think, 13 points off the bench, and he was 2 for 5 from 3-point land, 4 for 8 from the field. So that was a difference as far as the Kings are concerned. They had Crawford with 10 off the bench, but besides that, Boogie Ellis only had 5. Goodwin didn't have any. He only played 7. They really only played 7 guys, whereas the Warriors legitimately played 9 dudes. So it is what it is, right? It's the first inaugural Battle of NorCal, the Mitch Richmond trophy. And I'm going to tell you this much, Chris. I'm going to be honest with you. That trophy was horrendous. Yeah. It was worse than I thought. The renderings of it.
Smaller. Why is it so big?
I don't know. It looks like a vase. And why is
like
it orange?
Centerpiece.
Why is it orange?
Oh,
it looks like a vase.
They presented a wonderful halftime video explaining everything about the trophy and the base, Alan. Wait, I need to do this in my best presenter voice.
All right.
The base is meant to represent California's sunset as it shines over it sets over the Pacific Ocean.
Oh.
It's meant to represent, and then it goes into the trees, the fronds, in which will fall from the tree like I don't know. There's something majestic. I don't know, but it's meant to represent the sunset.
Okay. Yeah, that was terrible.
It was horrible. It's a big base, and it looked incredibly awkward. The little fans, the tree leaves that are coming off of it make it really uncomfortable to carry, and they definitely might need to downsize that trophy.
Yeah, and then you add we were curious, is it just going to be a color? So it's a Warriors flag looking thing that is on it. I'm just imagining that in 7 years. It's just a mess. It's just a complete mess. And to Whitey's point yesterday during Crosstalk, Mitch Richmond, he deserves better than that.
He sure does.
And he deserves better than Summer League. He deserves better than that flower vase for a trophy. You have James and Carmichael talking about Keon Ellis looked good, but the 7 fouls. So yeah, you can go over that limit in Summer League. So Keon Ellis had 7 fouls. Mason Jones had 7 fouls as well. Chris, are we just assuming or equating that to, hey, Keon Ellis, we want you to be aggressive. Let's see how aggressive you can be. Or is it a little bit of, all right, maybe a little too much, maybe just trying to figure out where the line was. And I guess if you're a coach, how much do that last play, right, which was, another foul by Keon, that last play, if you are the King staff, are you upset because that cost you the Battle of NorCal and that trophy? Or is it, hey, we care more about Keon's growth, and he got a little aggressive there. It's a teaching moment, but we don't mind that he was too aggressive today because we're still working on where that line is. Where do you think the coaches fall on that?
Yeah, I don't think they care much about the fouls in general. I think it's Summer League. There doesn't count towards anything. They'd rather you be aggressive and try and, like you said, figure the line out than, not play aggressively and let guys blow by you. So I think that they're generally okay with the fouls, and you get, I think, 12 of them, so you might as well use them.
Yeah.
But for the foul on the last play, I think it's fine, even if that happens in the regular season. I'm not super pressed about it because it's Keon trying to actively make a play. It's not like he was getting greedy and, was reaching into the cookie jar for no reason. He was like Brandon Pajemski, I think it was, that had the ball, was legitimately about to lose it, or he was going to turn into Keon.
I guess, yeah.
And Keon was just trying to get into the pathway, and he would have won. I mean, he would have won the game if he gets the steal. So I think it's totally worth it. It's a Summer League game. Doesn't have much stakes besides that trophy, which ultimately doesn't mean anything for anybody. I think I'm okay with it because at the end of the day, it's Keon actively trying to win a game. I would probably be more upset if he's sagging off, letting them, dictate the play. I'd much rather Keon say, look, this is a potential game-winning play. I'm going to be an active part of it. And I think that's the thing that makes Keon so great is and it's what I've noticed, digging into some Devin Carter film is, there's a difference between the kind of defender that Davion Mitchell is and the kind of defender that Keon Ellis is. Davion is a great point of attack. Hey, I'm a cornerback sticking in front of you. You're not going to get by me. Keon Ellis is a safety. He is out there making plays. He's getting interceptions. He's looking for big hits. he is trying to actively get the ball back for the offense. And that's what I see from Devin Carter too. And I think that them together as a backcourt is going to be a nightmare for people. I could see them setting each other up and almost really playing defense like it's offense. So
right.
I've got no problem with it. And I don't think the coaches do either.
Devin Carter undergoes surgery, by the way. We will have those updates and what he had to say to all of the Kings fans out there as well. Coming up next, Team USA gets it done. How surprised were you at the starting lineup? And had an interesting thought that I saw that I came across as far as the Team USA and the Olympics and likening it to the All-Star game that we all want. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The weather is hot, and so are the deals this month at Premier Pools and Spas' Sizzlin' Summer Sale. If you've been anguishing in the searing Sacramento sun, we're here to help with scorching savings on new pools and pool remodels. After 35 years as the region's top builder, Premier Pools and Spas has the hard-won knowledge and expertise you need to seize your summer. But act fast before these deals melt away on July 20th. It's the Sizzlin' Summer Sale, only at Premier Pools and Spas. CSLB number 589234.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Hey, Sactown Sports fans, get ready for an unforgettable summer with the Sactown Sports live events calendar, packed with the hottest shows around. Starting at Thunder Valley Resort, don't miss the epic Slash and Serpent Tour on July 12th. Then on July 20th, enjoy the incredible Miranda Lambert live in concert. And on August 9th, Jason Mraz and the Super Band are set to deliver an unforgettable performance. And don't miss this Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, experience the legendary Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. Then on August 15th, catch the iconic Donny Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. And on August 22nd, don't miss Creed Fisher rocking the stage at Ace of Spades. Finally, on September 10th, the Doobie Brothers bring their timeless hits to the Toyota Amphitheater. For all your ticketing information, head over to livenation.com. These are the shows you won't want to miss, so grab your tickets now. And stay tuned to Sactown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what you doing for Chrysler's Make This the Summer sales event?
Well, this month we have something special that only happens once a year. Big savings on one of America's most capable minivans. Right now you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on all remaining 23 Chrysler Pacifica hybrids, and that's on all trims.
Now, you said Chrysler Pacifica hybrids. Those things get 82 miles per gallon E with gas prices so high and $17,000 off MSRP. That's a no-brainer.
And a deal like this only happens once a year, so this is the time to take advantage of this savings at the dealership and at the pump.
The savings won't last long. Stop by Hoblet Dodge for a test drive today or search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$17,000 total net savings after $7,500 factory rebates and $9,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $7,500 federal EV tax credit offered by a third party and subject to change. Consult a tax professional for details and eligibility. 82 MPGE combined city highway rating based on fueleconomy.gov EPA rating. Send this net savings while supplies last. See dealer for details.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives are spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
This is Sactown Sports.
The original voice of Foreigner, Lou Graham, is coming to Sactown. We want to get you in the building next Friday for the 38 special experience. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. We will give you the number that you need to be to score those pair of tickets to see an unforgettable night of Southern rock, courtesy of Thunder Valley Casino Resort. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Chris, Team USA gets it done. And you had SGA doing his thing, Dylan Brooks being Dylan Brooks. The starting lineup, obviously no Kevin Durant last night, and Kawhi Leonard is no longer with the team. But the starting lineup, Steph Curry, Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, LeBron James, and Joel Embiid, and they didn't get off to the hottest start. Chris, it almost feels like the reason that the USA team is probably going to win is not necessarily because of the starting five. It's just because of the collection of parts, right?
Yeah.
When you're bringing Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum and everybody else off that bench, even Tyrese Halliburton had a great game. We'll talk about best PG. They asked some of the guys who's the best point guard in the East. We'll discuss the West as well. When you have all those guys, Bam Adebayo, coming off the bench, that's going to be the issue for these other teams. I think Team Canada, their starting five was definitely formidable, but they're all these teams are just going to be too thin compared to the USA team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. That's where US has all the benefit is they've always had the bigger talent pool. And, you know, it's the reason why there should be no question on if we win or not, because if that starting lineup has a piece that's not working, we have the ability to replace it with a piece that's just as, if not better. I mean, the fact that we have Kevin Durant technically in that showcase game coming off the bench, well, he would have came off the bench possibly if he was playing. But, you know, I think that's the kind of thing that sets them apart. They don't have, you know, I mean, let's be real. Team Canada is bringing Trey Lyles off the bench, and Team USA is potentially bringing, you know, Devin Booker and you know, who knows? I mean, the talent pool is just so much bigger in America, and that's why it's gold or nothing for us. And anything less would just be, frankly, an embarrassment. Other teams have, you know, singular entities. Greece has Giannis, and you know, there's some other teams out there that you know are kind of surviving off one player. Of course, Jokic with Serbia, like. You have to beat them with your depth, and that's why it's so important to have guys like Derek White, because you have to know your role. Sometimes it's not just about overwhelming you with talent. It's about, hey, okay, we have this collection of talent, but at the same time, it's still a basketball team. We need people to fit into places.
Can you help me out with something? Sure. What's the deal with the two guys at the end of, or the three guys at the end of the bench for USA? It's.
You meant I think that those were
Micah Potter.
Micah
Potter. What's going on there?
Langston Galloway checked in. someone else checked in too. I think that's just because people are injured and
Nigel Hayes-Davis.
Team. Yeah, I think that's just kind of
okay.
I think though they were on the select team. I'm pretty sure it's just because KD, Kawhi weren't there, and then maybe somebody else couldn't suit up as well. I would guess that those guys. I mean, I know for a fact they're not on the Olympic roster. I think that they were just because of injury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I saw them check in.
Yes.
And yeah, you have Micah Potter who plays for the Jazz. I guess my bigger question was, well, even if they play for the select team, they're not even the Brandon Kajemskis or the Trace Jackson Davises.
I was confused by that as well. I was like, okay, because when I saw Micah Potter at the scores table, I was like, is that Cooper Flagg? I thought it was Cooper Flagg. I was trying to do the math, and I was like, I mean, you know, in terms of like fair-skinned people, like, you know, it's really Devin Booker and Steph. And I was like, looks like a close to a 6'8", maybe 7-foot guy standing there. And so, yeah, it was definitely very confusing when I first saw it too. And I mean, I haven't looked into it, but I'm assuming that it's just, I know that those guys were on the select team, and I assume that it's because KD was out this game and because Derek White hasn't gone to Vegas yet. And so that's why at least 2 of them were there. I can't really figure out why that third guy was checked in. But I would assume that it's just because somebody maybe wasn't able to go yesterday.
Yeah, interesting stuff there. And you have the USA team taking care of business. Dylan Brooks, by the way. Man. So first he was
on one yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean, no surprise.
But you knew that.
Did you see him walk in front of Devin Booker's press
That's what I'm
conference?
saying. So basically, if you haven't seen
new ways,
if you haven't seen the video, he doesn't really. He had I wouldn't even want to call it a skirmish with LeBron. It was very quick during the game. After the game, Devin Booker is clearly doing a press conference, and I imagine the hallways at this arena aren't very small, right? And Dylan Brooks purposely walks in front or in between the camera and Devin Booker as he's getting interviewed. It's just little stuff that probably just annoys people.
It's just annoying. It's like, did you actually have to do that?
No.
Like, there's no way you couldn't have walked around or done. And it's literally in the middle of Devin talking.
Yes.
It's just like no regard for Devin at all. The dude's, I mean, he's a clown. He's, you know, I'm not saying he's necessarily a joke or anything. He just really likes to get underneath people's skin just to be an agitator. And, you know, I think there is some beauty in that 100%. But like we talked about yesterday with DeMar talking about, you know, hey, De'Aaron gave us that game winner in Chicago. I had something for him when I saw him in Sac. That's the thing about having Dylan Brooks on your team is, you might win one game or a couple of games because he does get under a certain player's skin and maybe has them have an off night. But the problem is people do not forget about that dude because he is the ultimate pest. And so I think in the long run, it's more detrimental to have him on your team. I mean, you saw how the Lakers treated the Grizzlies when they beat them in that playoff series. You're going to take victory laps. And, you know, it's fine. It's really fun when you win because you get to rub it in people's faces. But it's not fun when you lose and then you're like, Dylan, why did you piss this guy off so much that he had something for us?
If you look at all the pests and the whatever you want to call them, right? The Draymonds of the world, really the only guys that have had that supreme, I would say that supreme success are guys that had somebody else to cash the checks that they were writing. Draymond without Steph and KD and Klay Thompson, who knows where he's at. And then you have the same thing with Dylan Brooks, who he had John Morant. Right. Now he's got who? Jalen Green, right? And the Rockets. So he's got to be careful with that. But that's just, he is who he is. Trey Lyles, 2 of 6 from the floor, and 0 for 3 from 3-point range. He did have a nice Harrison Barnes-esque layup off of a fast break. So that was Trey Lyles. From the Kings standpoint, the one thing I wanted to bring up, Chris, is I saw somebody, and maybe this isn't completely unique, but I saw somebody said this is the closest we'll get to an all-star game with everybody trying. And I never thought about it like that, but now that I am thinking about it like that, it is pretty cool in that sense.
Yeah, sure. I mean, because it's been proposed before to do like a USA versus World all-star game, but even then, I think you would still run into the same issue of it's still the all-star game in the middle of the season. These guys aren't going to give it full tilt. It's a really good point. And I mean, that's what I think makes this Olympics, and not only the Olympics. I mean, honestly, I know they're trying to make it a bigger deal, but the FIBA World Cup and all the FIBA tournaments as well, it is as close as you're going to get to these star guys teaming up together and actually playing for a common goal. Like, it is a really cool thing to see. As much as I hate Wardell or don't like to talk about Wardell, seeing him throw that lob to LeBron was pretty dope. Like, it was really cool to see those guys play, full tilt and at the same time try and put on a show. I saw Steph throw behind the back pass on a fast break. Like, that's what made basketball popular in the first place.
Yeah.
And it feels like a bit of that fun is always coming out when these guys are on the international stage. And it shows, to that point, you can have fun and still play hard at the same time.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. And so, in a weird way, this is really the all-star game that we want.
If I'm Adam Silver, that's what I would say. I would say, hey, this is an opportunity to see what you want to see, because you ain't going to see it at the all-star game. So quit asking. Coming up next, we have a conversation about the 49ers, and as training camp starts, what you want to see from them. 11 o'clock, should Keon Ellis start for the Sacramento Kings? That is the question. If the season started tomorrow, who should start next to De'Aaron Fox in that backcourt? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com, search our podcast page, and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool has been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento summertime heat is back. And, of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And, as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
18 number ones. Countless ACM and CMA awards.
Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner, is coming to Sactown, and we want to get you in the building next Friday for the 38th special experience. All you have to do, hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. for your chance to win. We will tell you what number we are looking for at that time. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking at Team USA differently, Chris, and it is exciting to watch. It was just so funny just seeing Steph running around with LeBron, and he passes it to Devin Booker, who passes it to Jason Tatum. It's great stuff, man. It's great stuff.
Yeah, it's fine. You still got to watch Tyrese Halliburton out there for some reason, but yeah, no, it's fine.
That's the best point guard in the East, according to his peers. We have that audio for you, and we already had Nate almost leave the show when I play that audio. Chris might leave the show. It might just be me here by myself. From the 209, Chris, getting back to the Battle of NorCal conversation. Mitch Richmond Trophy should be someone who was good for both communities. Clearly should be the Harrison Barnes Trophy.
Yeah, I think that there's more positive feelings about Mitch on both sides, though. I mean, I don't think Warrior fans frankly feel very great about Harrison Barnes's Warrior stint. And Mitch Richmond was part of Run TMC.
Yeah.
And he was like the best Sacramento King pre Chris Webber. So.
If anything, you would still want to honor Mitch Richmond in some way. So maybe
like the MVP of the game should have been.
Mitch Richmond,
the Mitch.
And
Richmond
then would it have been
winner.
Keon, even though they lost?
I mean, exactly.
He balled out
100%.
Yeah,
that would have been better. I think we figured it out.
I think
the game itself doesn't need a trophy. Nobody cares about the end result. Like, I didn't care if the Kings won or lost that game.
I'll tell you what, though, and I was just thinking about this. I'll tell you what, though, next season, I'm assuming it will be at Golden One.
Freaking better be.
It will definitely be more popping than it was at Chase.
100%. No question.
By the way, Jess, who is one of our Sac chatters.
Yeah.
Jess, we need confirmation here. So Jess posted, and I might be tripping, but Jess posted a picture yesterday on her social media. It really did look like Monty McNair. I don't think it was Monty McNair, but she seemed to be at a restaurant of some sort, having some food and beverages before the game, and she was sitting next to a Monty McNair lookalike that really looked like Monty McNair.
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't think it was Monty McNair.
My sources are telling me it was Jay Mars. So I got a
shout out Jay, man. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I haven't. I've
Jess
not
is
seen
claiming
that
it
yet.
was Monty.
Oh, okay, well there you go.
But I want your confirmation.
Well, I need it. I need it sent to me
because he was just chilling. He was just chilling, having some food.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's. I guess he's not doing anything. DeMar has already been signed, sealed, delivered. At this point, I guess you're just kind of, chilling to watch a basketball game. At this point, maybe he, it's the last California Classic game. Maybe he was taking the family out to. I don't know why he would be in at Chase Center, but who knows? Who knows?
There you go. All right. Well, if it was,
I'll believe Jess.
Yeah. Hey, that's what she's saying. She's saying he was in the building. He was hanging out, just eating some food.
Yeah, he needs to eat too. Yeah, exactly.
That's right. That's right. Yes, Jess is confirming. Yes, it is him. He needs to eat too. So great stuff from Monty McNair hanging out, right? And the 530. Oh my goodness, 530 is now saying, is that Mark Wahlberg on the radio?
How would you know?
That's what I'm talking about.
How would you know?
So now 530.
Say hi to your mother for me.
Now all of a sudden, Nate's in a
microprocessor.
Nate's in a good mood again, and he's also going to be in a good mood as we spend a little bit of time here on the 49ers. Chris, Bleacher Report talking about some roster holes that the 49ers must fill before training camp. I thought they were perfect. I didn't think that they needed to do anything, but what is Bleacher Report talking about, Chris?
No, that's it. Literally, the article says they are perfect. End of story. And there's there's nothing else there. No, but the three positions that they highlight for the 49ers that are possible holes that need to be filled before training camp. By the way, training camp starts on the 15th, which, checking my calendar here, is next Monday. So be ready for tons of not just Niners, but football content in general starting next week. And that'll probably go, I think, training camp's a week or two. So we're about to kind of officially start ushering ourselves into pre-football season. Right. And then we're going to get the Hall of Fame game is early September. So in a weird way, football is right around the corner.
That's crazy.
It's nuts, man. Things move so quick. The three positions. First one is one that we talked about, I feel like, all season long, and especially last year at training camp, and it's the corners, man. The 49ers are going into training camp with Travarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, and Ambry Thomas as their quarterbacks. They write there is not a ton of depth behind the trio. Rocky Asim and Isaac Yadom are decent backups, but the 49ers could feel more comfortable with better players behind the starters. San Francisco could look into signing a veteran corner, which there are some available. I believe all of these are still available. Xavier Howard, Stephon Gilmore, and J.C. Jackson are amongst the top corners that are still on the free agent market. All of them can be intrigued by joining a Super Bowl contender, but the fit has to be perfect on both ends. The other position, and this is a very interesting one because it's one that they invested very heavily into last offseason, and that's defensive tackle. We know, of course, Javon Hargrave is there, but losing Eric Armstead is a blow to that D tackle front. The run stopper will pair with Malik Collins on the interior to begin the 2024 season. The 49ers could use an extra bit of depth behind Hargrave and Collins just to keep them fresh until the important parts of the season. This is again on Bleacher Report. Adding a free agent as defensive tackle would be more of a luxury signing for the 49ers than a cornerback, because they have two established starters with some depth behind them. San Francisco should not have any concern about their pass rushing unit around Nick Bosa, so it could look to improve some of its interior depth for a more well-rounded line. And the last piece is right tackle. Can I interest you in some more Colton McKivitz, ladies and gentlemen? Colton McKivitz will be given the opportunity to win the job again, but his play is definitely under a microscope. McKivitz needs to improve on his level from 2023 to prove that he can be a good, competent player next to Trent Williams, or corner opposite of Trent Williams as the anchors of the offensive line. 49ers should have their eyes on the free agent market in case McKivitz doesn't step up. Donovan Smith, David Bakhtiari, Charles Leno, and Jason Peters are among the top free agent options that the 49ers could explore over the next few weeks. There aren't many options, but one could step in if McKivitz is viewed to not be the guy at right tackle.
You know what's a position that I don't think anybody would have said the Niners need?
Wide receiver. Yeah. I think they're good there.
Sometimes I think about the fact that they took two, and it just cracks me up.
You know, your practice squad needs depth too.
That's also true.
You got to get a good look.
That's also true. Nate, how are you feeling about this article? Is it pretty much spot on?
Yeah, so Colton McKivitz is probably the biggest
I thought so too.
issue with the team, but so that's kind of been everyone's like the Niners didn't make the right pick in the draft, all this stuff. They did still grab two O linemen, Dominic Pooney, who's out of he's a Jayhawk, and then in the sixth round they got Jarrett Kingston. So they're both just kind of I think they're kind of swing tackle guys, right, or at least Pooney is. So you can I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. It takes a while, once you draft these guys and you kind of get to know all these guys, but I think they addressed that, and then with the corner situation, or they tried to at least.
Right.
I've said this a dozen times on this show. Like, offensive line is heavily needed, and there's not enough in the league to supply that need. There's not enough supply for the demand. And then their second round pick, Renardo Green, out of FSU. I'm that's Carmichael Dave's guy. He loves FSU. I think it seems to me like they're trying at least. And then there's also talk of Tashawn Gibson's been suspended for 6 games. this upcoming season. He was a Niner last year and the previous year. They could end up re-signing him. Injuries are a thing. It's confusing with Hufanga being out for his ACL. He's claiming he's going to be back week 1. He's even saying he's going to play in the preseason, which is kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
But I think they tried to address their problems here. It just sticks out significantly because, like you said, they took, all jokes aside, they took a receiver in that first round. So I think everyone's just going to clown on them for that. But they're not really known for their first round picks.
Right.
This Shanahan Niners team, they're known for that 4 through 6, 3 through 6 guys. Like a lot of the studs are later picks outside of like Nick Bosa and stuff. They traded for Trent. And I mean, look at Brock, right? That's kind of like the shining example. So I just kind of, I'm just going to sit back and trust the process.
There you go. Trust the process. Coming up next, you have Keon Ellis. Should he be a starter this upcoming season? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add? Agency. Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call. At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile. They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later. They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys. So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
I'm a very active person that likes to move around and go. The pain I was in was really excruciating. It was actually debilitating. I was basically heading towards a sedentary lifestyle. I had really tried everything, but I quickly lost hope with all of the things that we had tried, and that's what led me to the Good Feet store. And when I found the Good Feet system, it really just changed everything. It brought me back to life. I have my active lifestyle back.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports. local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
It's time to have the conversation. That's right, that conversation. If the season started tomorrow, the roster is presently constructed, who is starting at the 2? We know everything else, but who is starting at the 2? You have Kevin Huerter, you have Malik Monk, and you have Keon Ellis. Keon Ellis, Chris, he drops 30 points yesterday. He balls out in the Battle of NorCal, and I'm seeing the Kings' different Muse accounts, right? The Keon Ellis Muse, the Sacramento Kings Muse, all these accounts saying you're starting shooting guard moving forward. Keon Ellis will be in the starting lineup. And we talked about how, okay, it's Summer League. How much should we equate what Keon Ellis is doing and balling out to Summer League to the fact that he should be starting? We haven't even had this conversation, me and you, because we're doing it live right here on the radio at 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation, should Keon Ellis start at the 2? And if not, who should it be? Just straight up, very simple. Chris, as it stands right now with the current roster, season starts tomorrow. Let's play the game. Who is starting at the 2 for you?
I still have Keon. I still think it's Keon. I think that every reason that there is a portion of it that has to do with actually Keon and his abilities and where he's at in his development. And a part of it, I would say a bigger part of it is still that it still makes every reason that we listed last season for why Malik Monk should continue to come off the bench and shouldn't be inserted into the starting lineup, even though Kevin Huerter was struggling at the time. It all still applies. The flow makes more sense. It makes sense, especially, I would argue it makes even more sense now with DeMar DeRozan in that lineup. If you're afraid of your ball stopping and, the defense being a problem, which has been the main talking point since DeMar has gotten here, then you have to start Keon Ellis. Because if you're going to throw out a lineup with De'Aaron, Monk, DeRozan, Keegan, Sabonis, that's where you could potentially run into some potential, I wouldn't call it spacing problems, but that's where, hey, Malik likes to run the pick and roll with Sabonis. DeRozan more than likely is going to want to run the same thing with Sabonis. You can't really, it's not that you can't, but it just doesn't make the most optimal sense. I think Keon being a spot-up shooter, which he shot 41% last year, he's knocked down threes in this summer league so far. There's no reason to not think that's a part of his game. I think it makes more sense to have Keon out there. Keon can then defend the best perimeter offensive player, so De'Aaron doesn't have to worry about that. DeRozan doesn't have to worry about that either. We saw it last year when they go against teams like Memphis. You don't want De'Aaron Fox spending 48 minutes guarding Ja Morant and trying to put up 30 points. We need somebody to take that weight off of his shoulders, and you definitely don't want DeMar in that situation either. So I just think for all the reasons why we listed last year, mainly the flow of the game and how these guys like to get their touches, I still think it makes the most sense. Run Keon out there for 6 to 7 minutes, sub him out with De'Aaron, put Malik in. I think you can run a Malik, DeRozan, Sabonis lineup, or you can take DeRozan and stagger those minutes with Fox as well and just run Monk and Sabonis and then Fox and DeRozan together. I think that's the most fun part about it, but definitely am still feeling like Keon Ellis is in the front line right now to get that starting spot, even with Kevin Huerter on the lineup.
Because that's what I was gonna basically ask. There's 3 options here, and actually there's more than 3 options, and we'll read them on the text line as well. Today's the day for it. But I would say Kevin Huerter, and I feel crazy saying this based on what I've said about Kevin Huerter in the past, but I think Kevin Huerter, honestly, you would have the conversation about Kevin Huerter even before Malik Monk with the addition of DeMar DeRozan. So now the question would be Keon Ellis or Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter offensively, he's a shooter. That's the thing. Keon Ellis can defend in a way that Kevin Huerter cannot defend. And then on top of that, his shooting, is it crazy to say, isn't terribly far behind Kevin Huerter at this point?
Standpoint, no. From a percentage
especially
standpoint,
last season's Kevin Huerter. If it's 2 seasons ago Kevin Huerter, let's have a conversation. But with what we saw from Kevin Huerter last season, obviously he's getting that shoulder taken care of.
No, that's a factor too.
But it's a question mark now. It's a question mark as to whether he'll be better because of the surgery or if he has to come back. So I was torn on it. I've wanted Malik Monk to start because I do like I do like to reward players for
sure.
balling out.
For
and
sure.
Malik Monk, he already took the pay cut.
Yep.
He's deciding to stay in Sacramento. He loves Sacramento, loves the golf, loves the weather. And now all of a sudden he's still going to have to come off the bench. But the only reason I'm okay with it and I'm changing my tune is because Monty McNair made the move. You got DeMar DeRozan. We'll get into DeMar DeRozan a little bit later in the show and how that offense will, I guess, evolve. But if it was the same exact roster, I would say, Chris, I don't care about we need him off the bench. I think you need to reward this guy for what he's done. He needs to start, and you figure it out later. You get DeMar DeRozan, you have to have a different conversation. And I think Malik Monk would also feel like that because he has said, I want to start, but, I want to do what's best for the team.
Right.
Malik Monk was probably of the mindset of, if I take this pay cut and you run out the same lineup and I have to come off the bench still, then we have a problem. Right. I think the conversation was with Monty McNair and ownership, everybody with Malik Monk, hey, we're going to make a move, and our plan is to make a move. If we don't make a move, you'll start. If we make that move, are you still open to coming off the bench? And they went out and they made the move.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a great point about, if DeMar wasn't here, I think there is more of a conversation because you don't have that necessarily that pop that you want. And like you said, you want to reward these guys and you want to thank Malik in a way for saying, thank you for sticking with us.
Right.
Here's a small token of our appreciation because it's really what we're talking about here really isn't that big of a deal. I mean, the starting spot, it means something for pride. I'm sure it means a little something in your contract potentially as well. But, at the end of the day, Malik Monk, I think maybe there's a more interesting conversation about who ends these games, right? Because, we can talk about, go ahead and start whoever, and then you can implement, Kevin Huerter and Malik and stagger them however you want. But you can't have that conversation last 5 minutes of the game. And so I'll ask you, I'll just throw it to you. Last 5 minutes of a game, you have De'Aaron out there, you have DeRozan out there, you have Sabonis out there. I would think as it's currently constructed, Keegan's pretty cemented in there as well. Where are you just going off flow? Are you
I think it depends on the
best
game.
Day? Or
I
mean, is it the personnel you're going against? I mean, these are the decisions Mike Brown's going to have to make in real time.
Yeah, if Malik's been hot that game, I think you have to keep Malik in. Kevin Huerter, if he's hot, you keep Kevin Huerter in, and if neither of them are hot, you go with Keon for defense. That's essentially what I would say.
So that would be your hierarchy would be Malik 1, Huerter 2, Ellis 3.
Basically, it's hotness. Okay, this is essentially what did Abercrombie and Fitch get in trouble for that? And there was, they were only hiring hot people. Yes. I would say it's based on who's hot between Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter, and then you always have Keon. Or if you're trying to protect a lead, then
that could be
if
it
you're
too,
chasing, it's Malik or Kevin Huerter. If you're protecting a lead, you go Keon Ellis. One thing I've seen from Keon, and we tried to do this breakdown, his shooting, and this was his first year, but that second half shooting was not the same as the first half shooting. So you have to be okay with that if you're not chasing. If you're protecting a lead, then I go with Keon. You have some other ideas here, Chris, that are coming through. Somebody says, and this isn't what I would do, but we respect everything and all the different opinions. From the 916, they would go Sabonis, Lyles, Murray, DeRozan, Fox.
I don't think that's.
I need to see more from Trey Lyles.
Yeah,
he's not a starter to me right now.
Yeah, that's for their starting lineup.
That would be their starting lineup.
Yeah,
DeRozan at the shooting guard position.
Yeah, that kind of depends on, I guess, how big you want to go. Like, that's a little bit of a bigger lineup. If you're running a backcourt of Fox and DeRozan, you might not have the top end length, but you definitely have general length. But I don't really love it. Yeah, I don't think Trey is, no disrespect to Trey, or I don't mean any disrespect to Trey, but I just don't really think he's a starter quality guy. And I do think that there's others on the team that are just more deserving of getting that kind of role. I think Trey could have at one point stepped into that, but I to your point, I just haven't really seen enough from Trey, especially in this past year, that makes me feel like, Trey Lyles, it's not crazy to start him. To me, it just makes more sense to slide everybody else up, or potentially make that. I mean, I think this is the reason why everybody's talking. There has to be another move.
Exactly.
Because that's the spot that just like, are we going to start Trey Lyles there, or what exactly are we doing? So I definitely understand why that is the thought process, but I just feel like Trey to me is the fourth. Like, I would rather start Malik Monk than go the route of starting Trey Lyles. If that makes sense.
And And maybe it's a different conversation next season. Again, this exercise was as presently constructed. We still think we still think that the Kings are going to make another move. But if they don't, what would you go with? This is from the 5-3-0, no brainer. Start Keon at the 2, and then they ask, do you think he can be 40% from 3 next season? I mean, he's shooting with confidence.
I think so.
And he's going to get a lot of open looks because they have no choice now. The other teams, Keon is the guy that you are okay to let beat you. So he's going to have that opportunity. The 279 is not high on Kevin Huerter at all. Keon is better than Kevin top to bottom. Sure. Keon dogs Kevin. Get Kevin out of here. Can't stand the 3 guy who can't hit him. He's not that good, and his defense is trash, big trash. Keon is him. Start him at the 2. Monk off the bench is the fuel we need to push. I'm not willing to write off Kevin Huerter that much yet. And I do think we are all very high on Keon Ellis. And Keon Ellis had a breakout season, and Kevin Huerter had, what was it, Chris, the second worst season of his career besides his rookie year or second year in the league. So Kevin Huerter's stock is low, but I'm not going to count anybody out. That just means he's going to come back with a vengeance. That's a training camp battle that I can't wait to watch either. Yeah. We're talking about NFL training camp. Yeah. What about NBA training camp? Yeah. I don't think anybody has anything solidified yet. And if Kevin Huerter, I believe he'll be nice and healthy by then. So all 3 of them, Kevin Huerter, and throw Trey Lyles in there too. Why not? Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, and Trey Lyles to some degree, and Keon Ellis, have them all battle it out. And Mike Brown, he got that extension. We trust his authority and what he's going to choose to do. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. Yeah. Somebody says from the 916, I like a Fox, Monk, DeRozan, Murray, and Sabonis starting 5 with Keon, Kevin Huerter, Trey Lyles, and sometimes Len backing up. I think that is what we all thought. And Brendan, honestly, kudos to Brendan Nunes. He was first on this, that the feeling around the organization was that Malik Monk was still going to come off the bench. This was before the DeMar DeRozan move, and we didn't know why. We didn't know why Brendan felt like this. He's not going to reveal his sources, but we trusted Brendan, and Brendan was right on. I think there's a high chance that Malik Monk is going to come off the bench, but I think the understanding was we ain't running it back. So that's why we're okay with believing that Malik Monk is going to come off the bench, because, again, coming off the bench for a 9 seed is a little bit more disrespectful than coming off the bench for a 4 seed.
Yeah, for sure. For what it's worth, I know the texter asked, do we think Keon can shoot 40%? His 2022-23 season in Stockton shot 44.4% on 4.3 threes. Last season, 2.9 threes, shot 41%. So there's no reason to think Keon this is an anomaly last year. Or, hey, he only played half the season. Is that really something we can bank on? Since he has left college, since he's become a pro, and Keon is a little bit older too, we can't forget Keon is older than Keegan Murray is. Keon has consistently shot over 40% since he's kind of left college, and even his final season in college, he really turned it up from beyond the perimeter. And Keon's told us, he has said, I used to be an offensive player. Back in my day, when I was in high school or when I was a recruit or early in college, I was an offensive weapon, and my defense really only came when I went to Alabama because my coach told me I had to. And Keon says, I just think defensively, what would I do as the offensive player? That's how I defend. So I think Keon really does have a lot of offensive chops that people sleep on him for. I think a lot of people assume Keon Ellis is this Thabo Sefolosha mold where he's a great defender, but you have to sacrifice the spacing on the other end. I just don't think that's the key with Keon. I definitely think that he's more than capable of being a 3-point shooter. One last note too. I heard Anthony Slater mention this morning on the question of will Malik Monk start, he actually mentioned Mike Brown and how that's where we don't give Mike Brown enough credit because Mike Brown has the gravitas, he has the personality, and he has the security now to say, yeah, Malik, you're not starting. Like I've never once wavered on you being a starter. It's great that you want to be a starter, but I'm the coach and I do have some authority. It doesn't have to be in a vindictive way or, trying to put Malik down at all. It's just, no, like nothing has changed for me. If anything, we have a guy who has stepped up to show me that he could potentially step in that starting role. So I think if anything, it's more supplanted now more than ever that he's not going to be a starter.
And you know what, Chris? I'll liken it to Team USA, right? It's not necessarily about, hey, we need the 15 best players. It's also about fit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
If it was based on who are the 5 best players, then Malik Monk probably would be starting.
Definitely.
But fit matters and balance matters. 916-339-1140. Let's hear from you. We're going to open up the phone lines. Who should start at the 2? Keon Ellis, Kevin Huerter, other? Who should it be? Malik Monk? Let's hear from you. The text line is on fire so far. We'll continue to read those. We'll also get into Devin Carter and his shoulder situation. What did he have to say to the Kings fans out there all around the world? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The weather is hot, and so are the deals this month at Premier Pools and Spas Sizzlin' Summer Sale. If you've been anguishing in the searing Sacramento sun, we're here to help with scorching savings on new pools and pool remodels. After 35 years as the region's top builder, Premier Pools and Spas has the hard-won knowledge and expertise you need to seize your summer. But act fast before these deals melt away on July 20th. It's the Sizzlin' Summer Sale, only at Premier Pools and Spas. CSLB number 589234.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner, is coming to Sactown. We want to get you in the building next Friday for the 38 special experience. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. We will give you that number, and hopefully you are that lucky number. Speaking of numbers, the number I just said is also the call line if you want to be a part of the conversation. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Sam. Who wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Sam? What you got for us?
Hey, guys. Good morning. Well, a couple things. You know, with Malik starting, I don't know. I'd rather see him come off the bench and play the 6 like he did. He brings the energy, you know, and he still gets more national attention because of what he's doing coming off the bench late in the game than if he went out and started and got 20 points. So I understand starting, but, yeah, I don't know. Huerter, I'll tell you, if you look at the stats from Huerter from the first half to the second half, what his shooting percentage was, his shooting percentage was probably in the low 30s in the second half. When the first half, the first quarter, you notice he came out almost every game and let down 2 or 3 threes, and he had 9-10 points in the first 10 to 11 minutes. So that's my knock on Huerter. With Keon Ellis, I agree. I think he's an up-and-coming star. Is he going to be able to play the 2, or is he more of a point guard? I don't know, or maybe both, but I really like him. So I think they're going to have a tough time deciding which way to go. And, you know, let me throw a real quick one on the DeRozan trade. I really like the trade, but I still think unless he's going to go down there and play alongside of the star center, then I don't know. We still need a guy down there, I think, banging away. But anyway, let's wait and see. How about Timmy? Who knows?
That's what I'm talking about, Sam. Great call. Thank you for it, as always. Why are you shaking your head, Chris? I know why you're shaking.
Yeah, it's like, why do you think?
Look, can we just see what he does during Summer League? Or actually, I think he's playing for the Raptors. It was something, I saw a report. He's playing for the Raptors in Summer League.
He's definitely on the Kings roster. So
okay, I saw something floating around. Maybe, I don't know how, there's always something going on with the Summer League, but Raptors announced change to Summer League roster. Yeah. And now, I think it changed back, and it says Kings Drew Timmy sticking with Sacramento for the Summer League. That's 42 minutes ago. Yeah. So a little bit of Summer League drama, hot ticket, hot commodity, Drew Timmy. Everybody wants him on their Summer League squad. I mean, he is, like you said, he should be the Summer League king.
He should be. He definitely should be, but that should be where it stops. I'm sorry.
To be fair, and I know it is what it is. It's just a random California Classic game that they gave a vase and odd flags.
It's a wonderful vase.
But to be fair, I mean, the Kings shouldn't have lost that game, if we're being completely honest.
Why's
I mean,
that?
well, if you look at, yes, the Warriors had Pajemski playing and Trace Jackson Davis, but if you look at who the Kings had, you got Drew Timme, who's been around the block. You got
still a G leaguer.
That's no, I know, but Mason Jones, who's done some things in the G League as well, and then you have Keon.
Say the Warriors had a 6-year NBA veteran coming off the bench and dropped 20.
That's true.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Knox.
Come on.
He was supposed to be nice too.
He was supposed to be. He was the top 10 pick. That's what. Come on. What
yeah,
are we talking about?
Fair.
We had Keon Ellis, an undrafted two-way player.
Yeah, and Keon
Jones,
did everything.
Second-round pick.
Kobe Jones as well. But
he's a second-round pick.
That's fair.
Trace Jackson Davis is the exact same.
And Keon tried, man. He tried to put the team on his back.
Don't try and make the Warriors out here.
I'm just saying. I wonder was there a line you think for that game?
Yeah, if there was prop bets, there must have been a line out there somewhere.
We'll try to find what that
poor
line
sucker
was.
has to figure it out. That is absolutely torturous. I feel so bad for the person who had to come up with summer league lines. That's incredible.
That sounds fun.
How do you do it? How would you even? I'm sure computers do it, but no thanks.
I'll try to find it.
There's no way.
I'm trying to find it.
I'm efforting right now.
Thank you, Nate. Nate is on fire today.
Yeah, you just had to get him going early.
I need to do that more often, I think.
don't think so.
Okay. You know who we need to get going is Devin Carter, who undergoes surgery on his shoulder. I'll tell you what, Chris, didn't love that picture. That looked like some real deal surgery. It was.
What did you think it was?
I don't know, man.
Like?
That was some hardcore surgery there. That was some hardcore
like
surgery.
His shoulders out.
I don't know. I didn't love the pic. It just looks like some hardcore surgery. He goes on to tweet, Sack, thank you for believing in me. I'll be back soon, and I can't wait to show y'all this dog you have. So you see the whole situation now, Chris. We did this last week as far as big deal. I'll tell you what. We said little deal, big deal, no deal, little deal. After that picture, it's closer to big deal than little deal now. That was some real surgery. That was real knife work, Chris.
I don't know what to do with what you're saying. It's a very normal picture of someone having surgery. I think that I'm only concerned if he misses training camp. To me, training camp is an absolute must for him. And, thankfully it's a shoulder injury. So I'm hoping he can at the very least do walkthroughs, but I don't really feel badly about this until he actually misses
worried.
training camp. Yeah, I'm not worried about it until he misses training camp. If he misses any stretch of training camp, I just think that puts him so far behind the 8 ball. During training camp is where you implement your offense, when you implement your defensive principles and all those kind of things. And if Devin Carter is going to miss out on that and then miss, the first couple weeks of the season, everything just gets pushed back. He doesn't get preseason games. So his first 4 or 5 games are kind of just dipping his toe in the water. And then, the Kings are frankly in a position. The reason why we didn't think the Kings were, as Sam Amick put it, in the draft business is because with rookies, you got to give them some cushion, you got to give them some slack and you got to let them make mistakes. The problem is that goes against what the Kings are trying to do in terms of winning. And, it's definitely possible to progress and develop while on a good team and while winning. But, at the same time, they don't really have the luxury of missing games or of losing games because they gave Devin Carter a 5-minute stint that he wasn't ready for. So if he misses the beginning of the season, that's really where things could start getting not dicey, but that's just kind of, I think that's where things are off of the timeline in which the Kings were hoping they would be.
I'll tell you what, Chris, and look, I know that the Kings would have won last night if Devin Carter played. I would have loved to see him on Pajemski, even though Keon Ellis did a pretty darn good job himself. But I'll tell you what, they definitely would have won. And everybody is on their A game today. The callers, the texters, the sack chatters, Nate, everybody's on their A game. And we need to confirm this, but I trust our texters out there. This is from Studio Craig. He said that the Warriors were favored by 5.5.
Really?
Now that's disrespectful to me now.
Why?
Keon, Drew Timme, That's disrespectful. And now I'm mad. I hope next season the Kings will get it done. I'm so tired of the Warriors. Coming up next, we continue the conversation. And speaking of the texters, one gets their flowers as Anthony Slater kind of lends himself to what he is calling the jumbo lineup. And a texter was ahead of this as far as that man from Kentucky. And no, we're not talking about Malik Monk, and we're not talking about De'Aaron Fox being in that starting lineup. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for Ayuk. He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayuk is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Hey, it's me, your liver. You know, the organ that helps you recover every weekend at the pizza, donuts, and all those drinks. When you have a headache, you take an aspirin. You have a stomach ache, you pop an acid. But where's the love for your best buddy, the liver? The least that you could do to help me stay healthy is take Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver tablets contain high-quality, all-natural ingredients like milk thistle, globe artichoke, and turmeric extracts, which are proven to keep me healthy and you feeling your best. Active Liver provides an easy daily detox and helps protect me all year long. So let me make you an offer you can't refuse. You take care of me with Active Liver, and I keep taking care of you. Capiche?
See for yourself why Active Liver is Scandinavia's #1 liver health supplement. You can find Active Liver at CVS and online at Amazon, Target.com, or directly from NewNordicUSA.com. Again, find it in stores at CVS or online at Amazon, Target.com, or NewNordicUSA.com.
There is a different vibe at night at the Hagen Oaks Range powered by Top Tracer. It's more relaxed with golfers and newbies side by side enjoying the technology used on televised golf tournaments. Play a variety of fun games. Play Pebble Beach. Compete against friends at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range. Or treat yourself to 9 holes on the Mackenzie putting course. Hungry? The Hangout Food Truck offers burgers, chicken strips, and more. And don't forget to check the summer-long free concert schedule at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway.
18 number ones. What was I thinking? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, I love you just the way Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines.
The Open Championship celebrates its 152nd anniversary this month at Royal Troon in Scotland. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. The game's top players assemble for a chance at the coveted Claret Jug. The Open Championship is about tradition, excellence, and class. And you'll find similar qualities at Naturewood Home Furnishings as they assemble the finest furniture and brand choices for your selection. When you visit Naturewood, you'll be amazed at the gallery of superior furniture available for your lifestyle, for your decor, for your home. This weekend during Naturewood's bedroom sale, you're sure to find the perfect piece you've been searching for. Naturewood is proud to bring you Open Championship updates on this station and proud to offer you the finest furnishings available. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the Waterman.
Imagine the most beautiful panoramic setting. Endless waves crashing on a beach, kids playing in the park. Now, right smack in the middle of your perfect picture, imagine just one piece of litter. It doesn't fit, does it? And it simply doesn't belong anywhere. Certainly not in California. Not even one piece. Good news? If we work together, we will change it all. Clean California. Zero litter is the goal. CleanCA.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
This segment is brought to you by Kia Vacaville. Check them out at KiaVacaville.com.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
So basically, and this was today, 4 minutes ago, from the X or the Twitter of Devin Carter, he says, really played this season with my shoulder how it was. Friartown deserved it, though. So he's basically saying that his shoulder was jacked up all season long.
Right.
Not great, but I guess now he gets it fixed. And if he did what he did, Chris, and he shot the ball well and did what he did defensively with a bad shoulder, I guess you could assume he's going to be even better with a good shoulder. But that picture and now this text.
Stop with the picture. It doesn't make any sense. You're not saying anything. You're just saying the picture, way he's sitting.
Is it a shooting shoulder?
No, it looks like it's his left.
Okay, because Herder, it's his shooting shoulder, right?
Yeah.
So we will keep an eye on that. Very, very interesting stuff. Phone lines are on fire right now, Chris, by the way. Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner, is coming to Sactown, and we want to get you in the building next Friday for the 38 special experience. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Makana hotline at 1 p.m., and we will give you an opportunity to win those tickets. 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. And I wanted to give a shout out to the texter quickly before we get to these calls, because Anthony Slater, who was on the morning show, he went on to say, Chris, that the Kings are interested in trying out what he named. I don't know if this is the official name or if he just said it, a jumbo lineup where it would be exactly what that texter mentioned. And it would be Trey Lyles in that lineup. And you have DeMar DeRozan at the 2. Now, who knows how often they'll go to it. But, yeah, that was Frankie kind of isolating that part of the interview. Go check it out on YouTube if you haven't. Great stuff. Anthony Slater, all he does is great stuff. Friend of the show and old friend of mine as well. So you look at Frankie's breaking down. You'd have Fox at 6'3", DeRozan at 6'6", Murray at 6'8", Lyles at 6'9", and Sabonis at 6'11". So I'll try to find you, texter, whatever number you were, but you know who you are. Great stuff. Oh, here you go. You were 916. Of course, you were the 916. So shout out to you. Any thoughts on that one, Chris?
Just want to clarify real quick that he didn't say that the Kings are going to do it, or the Kings said, he said, I think they're going to look at it.
Sure.
So not necessarily saying the Kings are definitely
so
going
it was
to
it was a Slater opinion versus this is coming from the Kings.
Yes,
there you go.
Absolutely.
There
so
you go. Clarify that. Great stuff all around. 916-339-1140. Rick, we see you, but let's get to Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Steven? What you got for us?
Good morning, boys. Chris, you are the oldest, youngest, get off my lawn human being, dude.
Uh-oh.
I swear.
Should meet
Your
Frankie.
Takes, no, nothing really. It's just you're just so old manny with your takes, dude. And that's okay. There ain't nothing wrong with it. But you are the youngest old man I have ever met, I've ever seen in my life. So I mean that as a solid compliment.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Absolutely. Real quick, how do you guys feel about if Herder does remain on this roster?
Mm-hmm.
A, what are your thoughts and feelings about that in and of itself? And B, do you think that it would be fair for him for the Kings organization to kind of give him like a little bit of a chance because he has been playing with a bum shoulder for the past 2 seasons? You know, do you think that would be kind of fair to kind of give him a chance to kind of rekindle or reestablish his value, both for maybe the organization or maybe as a trade chip for later? because I haven't heard anything about Herter. The reports, I haven't seen any reports about Herter as of recently being a trade chip or anything like that. And from what it sounds like he might be staying, I'm assuming. But I wanted your thoughts on it, on if Herter were to stay. How do you guys feel about that? Again, thank you for your time, boys.
Thanks, Steven, as always. Yeah, I do think that there is a piece of this that I wouldn't say that we're forgetting, but does it matter that Herter was a starter? A lot of people say, hey, you can't lose your starting spot due to injury.
Well, you sure can't.
The issue was Herter was flirting with losing his spot before he got injured. And we know that shoulder actually was never completely right. Sounds eerily similar to Devin Carter. The difference was it was his shooting shoulder. But you have basically Kevin Herter, who was injured, even though it was questionable. He lost his starting spot for a day or two and then got it back. Nobody was able to, Chris Duarte, thank you for your service. Nobody was able to kind of take over that mantle. So now all of a sudden, if you do bring Kevin Herter back, we played the sound from Monty McNair yesterday during Summer League, just praising Kevin Herter and everything he does, even outside of shooting. But yeah, I think there's a piece of this, Chris, which is why some of us are pretty confident that Kevin Herter will be moved, because I do think it could be a little bit awkward. I mean, hey, Kev, I know the last time you played, you were our starter and we gave you the longest rope ever. But, yeah, things are different now, and now you're going to have to come off the bench. Sure. I think that's part of – I think obviously they want to move him for reasons more important to that. Right. But there is a piece of that quote-unquote drama that I don't think the Kings want to deal with either.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a thing, right? Like you can't just ignore it. It's blatantly in front of all their faces. And yeah, I mean, if he's going to stay, it's definitely going to be a bit awkward, because not only is he going to lose his starting spot potentially, but, you know, if Keon does take that spot, Malik is still going to be the first one off the bench, unless Kevin's moving to the 3, which is a possibility, I guess, as a backup. He's going to have his minutes severely cut as well. And you know, that's a big adjustment. And it's also a bit scary from a professional side. That's where you might start to hear, to your point, like some trade requests, some legitimate trade requests. If his minutes are cut, he's going to feel like, hey, we're tiptoeing on the line here of potentially really damaging my value after I'm going to be here on the Kings. Like I think of, you know, and it's a bit scary, but I do think of how many shooters in this league have like guys who their bread and butter is shooting the basketball. How many of those guys end up lasting 10 years, 15 years as just a shooter? Like I think of, and maybe it's unfair, but Joe Harris immediately comes to mind. Joe Harris at one point was the hottest ticket there was. He was kicking, he was hitting threes for Brooklyn, and then he signs this massive contract, and you never hear from Joe Harris again because of injury. And, you know, as Kevin Herter hurts his shoulder, I just wonder, you know, is that going to hurt his percentages? And if Kevin Herter isn't an absolute dynamite three-point shooter and he's just he's a good three-point shooter, what does that do for his value and how important he is? Just only time will tell. And I don't know if the Kings are going to be willing to be the ones to make that, to have to figure that stuff out, or if they're going to prioritize trading him first, because I do wonder how many other teams value Kevin Herter. I mean, he's coming off an injury and probably have a lot of the same questions we have. I can't imagine they're in some rush to bring him in and just assume he's going to be right back to where he was.
Yeah, and the clip that we have on YouTube that a lot of people have been commenting on, as we just broke down the Kevin Herter thing, it is interesting how a lot of people felt like it was Monty. When you're talking about Kevin Herter's rebounds, not to be disrespectful, it felt like he was saying, look at all the things he can do that you might not know.
Right.
And if you're having to tell people, that's normally not a good thing. As the old saying goes, Chris, if you're good, they'll find you. Not to say that Kevin Herter isn't good, but definitely they're trying to show people what all he can do. And then if he doesn't start and you still want to maybe look to do something before the trade deadline, couldn't you say that his value is even less because he's not even a starter anymore for the Kings? 916-339-1140. Let's get to Rick. Wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Rick? What you got for us?
Hey, guys. Hey, this Malik Monk thing, I think it's great for it's really exciting, I think, right now for the Kings, all the things that they were doing. I was pretty kind of pessimistic where they were going, but, man, they've made some good trades.
Right.
And Malik Monk's attitude, more than anything, I mean, he's going to get his minutes, and this actually might work out for him in the end for an even bigger contract. And it looks like the Kings, they have a great sixth man, but they could possibly have two others coming up, which will create matchup problems for other teams. So when people come in, it's like we're going to have to match up with those guys too. It's almost like having two starting teams on one team.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm really happy with the direction the Kings are going, and it's kind of exciting looking forward to next season. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call, Rick. Great stuff. Coming up next, we get into Anthony Slater's appearance on the morning show, and he talks about why, as everyone is discussing the fit in a negative way as far as the national media is concerned with DeMar DeRozan, why Anthony Slater says that internally the Kings felt it was necessary because their offense had been a bit figured out. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys, live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for Chrysler's Make This the summer sales event.
Everywhere you go, things are getting more expensive. But at Hoblet, we're working to save you as much as we can, which is why right now you can save up to $15,500 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn or Laramie Hemi 4x4s. And we figured why not include no payments for 90 days.
You guys are going all out this month, aren't you?
From the time my grandfather opened the first Hoblet dealership back in 1949, one thing we've strived for is to treat you like family. That's why you'll find the big city selection and savings with over 400 Rams available, but the small town care and attention when you buy from Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$15,500 total net savings on select new 2024 Ram 1500s after $8,500 factory rebates and $7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 Chrysler Capita bonus cash. Must finance with Chrysler Capita qualify. And $500 first responder cash for current members of eligible First Responder Association. At least 5 of this net savings. Sample VIN 190060. See dealer for details.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided in service by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with a purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Taste on a whole new level at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Enjoy the height of hospitality, whether you're craving an upscale steakhouse, authentic Chinese hot pot and dim sum, or having a refreshing beverage while watching the game. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Live and local. Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner, is coming to Sactown. We want to get you in the building next Friday for the 38 special experience. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. and we will give you a chance to win those tickets courtesy of Thunder Valley Casino Resort. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Been having a lot of fun with this conversation as far as Keon Ellis, whether or not he should start or not, Malik Monk, whether or not he should start, Trey Lyles, whether or not he should start. There are going to be a lot of versions. Chris, let me ask you a question. And I know it doesn't happen very often, but it has happened before. Is there any world where an NBA team would do things throughout the season? I know there'll be stints, and I think Steve Kerr has done this before. I know there'll be stints, and I know other teams have done this too, where things are just specifically matchup based. Is there any world where that fourth starting spot would be somewhat of a revolving door? Hey, we're playing the Grizzlies, so we want Keon on Ja, right? Or, hey, we need more of an offensive punch this game. Or do you think at some point we need a solidified starting five to just run with, and that is what we're going to do?
I would think that they want a solidified five. I mean, it's just easier for continuity's sake and for, chemistry's sake that you kind of get a consistent five and everyone knows where they're going to be and all that stuff. There's a chance, but I think those are mainly when you're kind of when you have a lack of talent, or if you maybe if the Kings start to deal with the injury bug, you could definitely see that be the case. But I would imagine that going into it, you want to have a solidified starting five, just so those guys kind of understand where everyone is and how everyone's roles fit into each other, because it can be a bit chaotic. And then you also are relying pretty tough on Mike Brown. I think Mike Brown does a good job, but at that point you're really putting a microscope on yourself, because you can change it every game, but if you're wrong on a given day about the matchup, it's going to be your fault. Like, it's directly your fault.
If you just smack the team and then the next game you run a different fifth starter out there, even though it makes sense on paper, hey, there is no Ja Morant on this team, so Keon, even though he balled out, it makes more sense to go Malik Monk here. Then you lose that game. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's just one more thing that Mike Brown would have to worry about.
They don't even have to go crazy the game before. It's just, hey, I think that Keon Ellis is a good matchup on Ja Morant, and then Ja Morant cooks Keon for 40 points, and it's like, maybe I should have gone somewhere else. And you just can't deny that that's directly your decision.
Yeah. Let's get to Anthony Slater. This is what he had to say, Chris, as everybody is discussing how DeMar DeRozan is going to affect spacing in a negative way. Anthony Slater gives his thoughts on why the Kings felt like DeMar DeRozan was necessary to take their offense to a different level. This is what he had to say.
Yeah, so with that, is the fit for you more of a concern defensively, or just are there some offensive things that you see as a fit issue maybe?
Yeah, I think both. It's not like he's, DeRozan's known as like the best cutter. I think part of why they exploded a couple of years ago offensively is because of the DHO stuff and like the way Herter could move and the type of season he had and how everyone kind of fit around Sabonis. I don't think, that's not necessarily DeMar DeRozan's specialty. It's going to be a lot of like, clear side of the floor, pump fake, right? DeRozan's like best skill is pump fake. That's like what he's famous for. That's like kind of slow basketball. It's mid post stuff. It's stuff that doesn't necessarily get everybody flowing. So again, it's tricky, but also you have to evolve. I'm talking to Kings people. I think part of the reasoning behind the move is like they were solved a little bit offensively last year. They can't just have this free flowing, number one offense in the league for the next half decade. Like they need to change some things. And part of changing some things is just getting an elite scorer who can score 24 a game. And that's part of winning against good teams, right? You can do a lot of that flowing stuff against your average NBA teams. But if you need to beat good defenses, if you need to beat the Pelicans in New Orleans with your season on the line, sometimes you just need to give the ball to a great scorer, and he needs to score against, long defenses.
It's that simple. It's that simple to me. You can have the best shot, or this shot makes the most sense. And we hear a lot about that in the flow offense. Hey, we had the conversation, who takes the last shot? Whoever's hot or whoever's open. And that's really how the Kings offense has operated. Hey, you have to shoot that shot, X player, even though you are the technically the fourth option because that's the best shot. That's all fine and good. But sometimes in crunch time, you just need to get a bucket. And sometimes it's before crunch time because we know that you have De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk as well. But even before crunch time, sometimes it's just not flowing. Like we continue to say, Chris, at the end of the season last season, the first half, the offense looked great. Everybody's making their open shots, right? Second half, we're not making our open shots today. What else can we do? There was no counterpunch or there was no second option to once that happened. And now they have it with DeMar DeRozan. And I will sacrifice some spacing. And I know I believe it was you just a couple days ago saying we're acting like people guard. When you talk about spacing, you're acting like people are guarding DeRozan like Draymond.
Yes, exactly.
That's not what the situation is. We're talking about a couple feet between a mid-range and a three-pointer.
Yeah. No, I definitely think Anthony's really spot on a lot of things he said. I just kind of personally think that it's been overblown how DeMar isn't going to fit into the Kings system. Like, I know that traditionally he's been a bit more of an isolation player and somebody who needs the ball in his hands to operate. But I watch the Kings style of play, and I think that there's no reason to completely abandon the DHO game. And I don't think that's what Anthony Slater's saying. He used the term evolve, which I think is actually the perfect word to use for this, because the offense isn't broken. I think a big part of it was they would walk through. I mean, it's what happens when you get not lazy, but complacent. When you've done something for now 2 years in a row of running the same offense, you kind of go through the motions a bit. And I think that was the problem with the Kings offense is they didn't have anyone to break down the defense. So I definitely think DeMar can still play his game in the flow of the system. I think, again, there's this misconception out there that DeMar DeRozan is like 2001 Allen Iverson, where you're running an offense, people are moving, people are passing, then DeMar gets the ball and everything just stops. I think he's more than capable of running a system. The way he talks, I talked about it yesterday, he seems like he's very willing. He's not a very he doesn't seem selfish. He doesn't seem like he's the type of person who says, this is my way of playing, and if we're not going to do this, like DeMar DeRozan signed up for this situation, okay? This was not a situation where the Kings brought him in and are going to force him to play this style of basketball. DeMar came here fully knowing how the Kings operate, and I think he's willing to fit in as a puzzle piece a little bit more than what people are giving him credit for. And this is why I can't wait for the season, man. I just think that a lot of people are going to be surprised at how little of the concerns actually end up showing up. Like, yes, I think they're very big picture concerns, but I don't think it's going to be every game we're seeing the same thing and the same things trouble them over and over and over.
Yeah, I think anybody that is of the mindset that this is going to be a big, big problem, I think that just says that they do not think as highly as of Mike Brown, of the Kings coaching staff, of DeMar DeRozan, of the other Kings players. These are some of the smartest basketball minds, and you just think they're going to roll the ball out, especially at this point in DeMar's career.
Right.
He's done a lot, but he has not won probably as much as he's wanted to. So, all right, I have all these accolades as far as scoring and things like that. I'm willing to, at this later half of my career, I'm willing to change not necessarily who I am, but how I go about my offensive process in order to win. That is why at the press conference, all he talked about was winning and lighting that dang beat.
That's it.
That's all he cares about right now.
That's it.
He does not care about getting his. He got his for years.
No. Yeah.
It's time for something.
Fact he's one of the best scorers of this generation. Like, he's 31st right now in the all-time scoring list in the NBA history. Didn't once mention his scoring. Didn't once mention, I shouldn't say he didn't once mention his scoring. He definitely mentioned his scoring, but didn't talk about how he's excited to lead this offense or anything like that. He's fully aware, again, that there are pieces that are already here, and he decided to come join those pieces. I don't think he came here because he said, I feel like I'm the missing piece to this team. I don't think I heard that once. I didn't hear any, they came to me as if I was some missing piece or I'm the piece of the puzzle that they've been looking for. There was none of that. This was strictly a basketball decision that I think, again, DeMar DeRozan willingly chose, that he understands he's going to have to fit into. It's not going to be DeMar DeRozan's show, and I don't think he has any illusion that it's going to be that either.
No, and who knows if he even wants it to be that. I think that he
Man's
wants
35.
Yeah, he wants to help. He wants to help De'Aaron Fox get to that next level. You saw the vibes and the friendship that they're already growing and the relationship that's already growing there. He wants to help Keegan Murray get to the next level. They can all help each other for one common goal, right?
100%.
There's the common goal and then there are the personal goals, and it's all in one pot, and they can achieve all that. And I think that's why DeMar DeRozan chose to play with the Sacramento Kings. And like I said, he wants to light that beam. Coming up next, the Warriors announced preseason game against Sacramento, and we'll tell you when that is. Of course, more games against the Warriors, and the Kings unveil their Vegas Summer League squad. We'll tell you who made the squad, who's on the squad when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drapes, Kyle Draper. As the proud sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew, Alsco Uniforms offers certified hygienically clean lab coats, scrubs, bed linens, towels, floor mats, and an array of mops tailored for your healthcare facility. Our services include convenient delivery to your doorstep. Leading the way in healthcare laundry services in Northern California, discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
The weather is hot, and so are the deals this month at Premier Pools and Spas Sizzlin' Summer Sale. If you've been anguishing in the searing Sacramento sun, we're here to help with scorching savings on new pools and pool remodels. After 35 years as the region's top builder, Premier Pools and Spas has the hard-won knowledge and expertise you need to seize your summer. But act fast before these deals melt away on July 20th. It's the Sizzlin' Summer Sale, only at Premier Pools and Spas. CSLB number 589234.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Catch some Aggie football this fall and save money while doing it. Grab one of our all-new mini plans and save up to 40% off single-game tickets. With our can't-miss home slate of games this season, you can pick 82 games for just $60 or any 3 games for $75. Pick the games that fit your schedule and come support the Aggies on their quest for a Big Sky championship. Mini plans can be purchased by calling the ticket office at 530-752-2471 or online at ucdavisaggies.com/tickets. Go Ags!
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Slash presents Serpent Festival, a celebration of the blues. Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley, starring Slash, Warren Haynes Band, Samantha Fish, and Eric Gales. It's gonna be a steep climb. Don't miss an all-star night of blues, Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Serpent Festival.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
1 o'clock, Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner, is coming to Sactown. We want to get you in the building next Friday for the 38 special experience. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m., 916-339-1140. Again, if you are listening on the app, you might want to switch over when it gets closer to 1 o'clock. If you want a chance for those tickets, there is a slight delay. YouTube doesn't seem to have the same delay, or it's not as aggressive. But if you can get to an AM station or AM situation, that will really help if you want these tickets to Lou Graham. Chris, so the Warriors announced a preseason game against Sacramento October 11th. We got to do this all over again?
Oh, yeah, all over again. Because, the 11 games that we played at the end of last season and the start of the this previous season wasn't enough. So, if you wanted more of the Battle of NorCal and Mitch Richmond free game, Mitch Richmond trophy, Richmond trophy free game. Of course, Mitch is welcome to whatever game he wants to show up to. But, the October 11th, of course, the Kings haven't announced their preseason schedule yet because – why would they do that? But instead, the Warriors have released theirs. And Friday, October 11th. This is the first official preseason game that we have seen. These are only the Warrior home games that have been announced so far. They will play the Kings, of course, at Chase Center Friday, October 11th at 7 p.m. Pacific. They will play the Detroit Pistons on October 13th.
The new look Pistons, exactly. And
Bronny James will go back to Chase Center as he's playing there for the Cal Classic on Friday, October 18th, as the Warriors take on the Lakers at Chase Center. So still no word on when the Kings preseason is, but at least now we know there is a start point, and the fact that the Kings play the Warriors' first home preseason game is October 11th. You can either guess that is in general the Kings' first preseason game, or potentially there's one leading into that one as well. So we have we have an idea of at least when we can expect to see our first look, actually, of DeMar DeRozan in a Kings uniform. So can't wait for that. Early October is when we will get our Kings basketball back.
There you go. And, I think everybody decided, obviously, he's not going to play a lot at all, but at least you'll see some of it, and everybody's going to be very excited. That first basket at home at Golden One Center, it's going to hit. It's going to be a midi, I think, or a dunk, and it's going to hit, Chris. It's definitely going to hit.
I mean, it's gonna be incredible all season long. I think the energy that he's gonna bring to this team is gonna be something special, man. Like the shot making ability. I was watching some highlights of him yesterday, and just like he has a very rare ability, and it's something I've been asking for from this team for a while. And in a weird way, I guess. I mean, Malik has stepped up from that sense, but Buddy Hield was really the person before Malik that was tasked with being the 5, 4, 3, 2. Who is that shooter? Who is the person when the time bomb is ticking? Who's putting the ball up? The Kings really haven't had a great go get yours. Hey, there's no offense being created. Please go create something for us. That's DeMar DeRozan. He had so many of those buzzer beaters. And I just think that we're going to be we are going to be greatly appreciative of everything that DeMar brings in those late clock situations.
Where would you rank this season? And again, let's assume no other moves are made. Where would you rank this season in terms of anticipation and how excited people are for the season to start? Because you would think it is odd. And I know I came along basically after the hot season happened, but it is interesting. It was a weird feeling. If you look back at the season last season and how it was a bit of a weird season, it was a bit of a weird feeling and I don't know if Kings fans want to admit this or if you want to admit this as well, but coming off a 3 seed, and maybe it was the fact that they didn't make any additions, but it was interesting to come off a 3 seed. Yes, you lost in the first round, but you did go 7 with an all-timer in Steph Curry. Didn't feel like the anticipation was crazy coming into last season as far as the expectations.
I'm disagreeing.
Okay.
I was going to say that I think last season had more anticipation than it feels like at the moment this one does.
Okay.
I think people were so excited to see what was going to happen next. I mean, obviously after the first Beam Team season, that was just a movie in itself. I think a lot of people were hyped to see, okay, where are we taking this? Are we going to take another leap? Is this going to be the same as last year? Is it going to be worse than last year? I think there's definitely don't get it wrong. There's definitely anticipation for what's coming this season, but it just doesn't feel like, for whatever reason, it just feels like people were more hyped going into, okay, how are we going to build upon this? And it feels like how the season ended last year. There's just not as much momentum carrying into this season.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Last season, obviously, you wanted to take that next step, but then you also felt, and it's crazy. And maybe some Kings fans did have a grind to gear, because let's look at Dallas, right? The Kings, and we know, okay, there was the 16-year drought and all of that. The Kings, you end the drought, Beam Team, and they decide to run it back. And I've actually been on the side of, hey, I understand Monty McNair was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Who do you move? Who do you do? What do you do? This, that, the third. Then you have the Mavericks, who found a way to get to the finals and then add Klay Thompson. So there's no reason to cry over spilled milk, but it does look kind of interesting to me now. And I think the difference is the Mavericks didn't lose a core piece per se. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't call Hardaway Jr. a core piece. They were able to add. So, there's just something to be said about just because you should always be trying to improve. And I do wonder if Monty McNair moving forward will say, hey, that was a very unique situation, but now I know for the rest of my career, if you don't have the Larry O'Brien, there's no reason to not be trying to add and to get better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can add every single offseason. You can definitely make tweaks here and there, but once you get to a certain point, like look at Denver. Denver hasn't done anything this offseason.
Well, but I'm saying, but Denver, they have that cachet because of the championship. I'm saying to win, it was different.
Minnesota, they went in for Dillingham for sure, which is a big switch up. But once you get to a certain point, you need to you can't keep swapping things out. You need some continuity once you finally do get good. I mean, definitely you can't, just sit on your laurels and try and hope that next season's going to be good. That's definitely a lesson he learned, but I don't think you can fully expect, big additions every single offseason. And, a lot of the time victories are in the margins. You can't, it's the Trey Lyles signings and things like that make the difference. You can't always make these big splash moves every offseason.
Right. Fair enough. From the 5-3-0, I was going to be surprised if the Kings were a 3 seed or better in year 2. The West was really down that year. I'm more hyped about this year.
Right.
Fair enough. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Javier. Is Javier cooking today or what? What do you got for us, Javier?
How you doing, Mr. Stiles and Mr. Watkins? How's your day going?
Great. Outstanding.
That's good. So, I wouldn't say I'm cooking, but I'm always in the kitchen. You know what I mean? So I got some ingredients I want to hear, and I feel like people have been sleeping on this, man, based on false narrative from the East Coast Sports Prerogative Network. You guys also know as ESPN. Kuzma is a great addition in some respects, but statistically, if you look at this player and what you can get him for, especially at his value being low compared to what our last asset, quote unquote, we can get that's low. 37% from the field, 15 points a game, with several shots less per game that wouldn't need a high shot volume, way less usage rate, only averaging a combined 11 shots per game, 37% from the field, like I said, and average a block a game, which we need, 8 rebounds in a game, and that would be John Collins. I would call that because I need somebody who's going to be physical with an F and go out there and want to hit somebody in the mouth. And he's athletic. Kuzma's great, but he's a finesse ball player. love his game. I'm not going to be mad they got him, but he's 32% from three. John Collins is a better overall three-point shooter, not just last year, but in the entirety of their career, and he's 3 years younger. Granted, he might be a little more expensive, but can he go jam on somebody's head and get on internet, Sports Center top? Yes. Can he go block a shot or two? Yes, and he plays with energy. Kuzma, I'm not saying he doesn't, but he's more of a finesse, rhythm guy. He's high usage, high shot volume. He wants to get his own. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He can shoot the three. He will shoot the three. But statistically, John Collins shot the ball better from the perimeter than him overall, and not just last year. And John Collins' value right now is a quote-unquote all-time low. If you put in John Collins for Herter, 2 second-round picks, that's a checkmark successful trade if you enter it in the machine. The only thing I wish I could find a way is to kick the tires on Darius Bazley, but then you have to send somebody. I really like him as a potential backup small forward. They don't utilize him, use him either. But if the Kings have eight guards and 5 forwards, that needs to be corrected. Period, point blank. That's where they're at, and I'd love to see Bazley. I don't know how we can get him because then the salaries would not be able to equate to having a successful transaction because there's too much money intake, contrary to being sent out. Maybe you can use the trade exception with Davion and Sasha's trade exception that they got. But yeah, I just want to see what you guys thought because I think John Collins is being slept on, man. I think he's a bargain deal right now, you know?
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Javier. Great stuff as always. So, Chris, you have John Collins, who I have looked at, and I think the issue is some of the cost. So, John Collins, Chris, here's the breakdown. He has 1 more year left on his deal at $26.5 million. And then he has a player option for the same exact thing. So he'll probably opt into that, would be my guess. I'm not necessarily against it. I just think it's the price, the price tag once you get him. It does bring size, right? He does bring size. And Javier had Kevin Herter and what was it, 2 second rounders? What are your thoughts, Chris?
I think price-wise, that probably doesn't work out with the money figure because John Collins will make 26 and Herter makes
what is it, 17? Yeah, you'd have to throw somebody else in there, and then it feels like too much.
Yeah, I'm also not a John Collins guy at all. To me, John Collins is part of the Christian Wood All-Stars, where you look at their numbers, and yeah, you're always super impressed. But why is it so that every team John Collins goes to, and same with Christian Wood, they don't want him? Like I just think that that's very suspicious. And if he were a good player, I feel like Atlanta would have wanted to keep him. If he were a good player, we see how Danny Ainge is clutching onto Lauri Markkanen. Like
we don't hear anything about John. It's not as if he's on the trade block.
He used to be. He was on the trade block for as long as Harrison Barnes was on the trade block, and nobody wanted John Collins. So I think that it's just like he does have some vertical leap, but he's not a super efficient shooter. He's defensively, he is an absolute nightmare. He doesn't really bring anything besides his athleticism. Offensively, I think that he's way too perimeter based. And I feel like he actually needs to be more attacking the rim and using his athleticism around the rim. I've just never really been a fan of John Collins, and especially $26 million. That's more than you're paying Kuzma. That's more than you're paying Cam Johnson. You might as well go out there and get Jeremy Grant at that point.
Yeah, I'm not as low on John Collins as you seem to be, but I do think that the issue is I don't want to pay that. I don't want to pay that. You know what I mean? So I think that's the issue there. And Javier is in the Sac chat now. Hey, Javier, you got to defend your sword. You know, I get it. I get it. You got to go down with your shield and keep on cooking, which we know you will. Coming up next, we have some more trades from the text line that we will get into. Also, we have Derek White replacing Kawhi Leonard. Was that the right decision by Team USA? And Jaylen Brown has some things to say about it. Then Grant Hill responds to Jaylen Brown. It's on Twitter, and then it's in real life, and it's coming up next. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The Open Championship celebrates its 152nd anniversary this month at Royal Troon in Scotland. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. The game's top players assemble for a chance at the coveted Claret Jug. The Open Championship is about tradition, excellence, and class. And you will find similar qualities at Naturewood Home Furnishings as they assemble the finest furniture and brand choices for your selection. When you visit Naturewood, you'll be amazed at the gallery of superior furniture available for your lifestyle, for your decor, for your home. This weekend during Naturewood's bedroom sale, you're sure to find the perfect piece you've been searching for. Naturewood is proud to bring you Open Championship updates on this station and proud to offer you the finest furnishings available. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the Watermill.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Team USA tweaking their roster a bit due to Kawhi Leonard pulling out. And Jaylen Brown was not happy. There's also Chris himself, Jason Tatum, being asked whether or not he's spoken with Jaylen Brown. Somebody said that Steve Kerr, and I know it's the Warriors, but Steve Kerr doing the Lord's work of creating drama within the Celtics organization by adding a different Boston Celtic other than the Finals MVP. I wanted to run this one by you, Chris, because and honestly, first I thought it was terrible. Shout out to 530. Then I just became confused.
Okay.
Hey, Stiles and Watkins. I say Huerter and Jalen McDaniels and McLaughlin will be traded, or I think they're saying, would you trade? Or maybe they're not. Will be traded. Who are your sources? Will be traded to the Blazers for Robert Williams and Chris Murray. So Huerter, McDaniels, and McLaughlin for Robert Williams and Chris Murray.
I'll have to look at what Robert Williams is making, but
he doesn't play.
Yeah, he doesn't play.
That's my issue with Robert.
Problem.
You could probably pull that off, but I don't know if anybody gets better. You're essentially, I don't want to get rid of Kevin Huerter for a flyer. And I feel like at this point in time, Robert Williams is a flyer because those knees don't seem to be kneeing.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, he's been hurt every single year. Like, I mean, he's just as bad, if not worse, than Joel Embiid, and just as bad, if not worse, as Kawhi Leonard when it comes to that front. Yeah, I mean, he's a good player to have on your bench or even as a starter, but you can't rely on him. I mean, even the Boston Celtics would have loved to have him as their center, but they had to move on. They had to eventually say, we cannot rely on this guy. And I know they went with Kristaps and Porzingis instead, and that wasn't much of a better answer, but
played more.
He played more. He definitely did. I mean, I don't know. Robert Williams played 6 games this past season. You know how many he played the season before that? 35.
Yeah.
61, 52,
you can't
29.
give up Kevin Huerter for that.
He has only played over 50 games once in his 6 years so far. I just think that's you can't have that. Like, yes, he's a phenomenal defensive player when healthy, but also we don't know what he looks like post these injuries either. And for a guy who's already severely undersized, he's listed at 6'9". That probably means he's really 6'8", maybe 6'7". That sounds like a guy who relies pretty heavily on his leaping ability. And, you know,
I did not know he wasn't.
He's not big at all.
A 7 footer.
No, he's not even close. Yeah. So when you factor that kind of thing in, it's just not a good risk to make, especially for a guy like Kevin Huerter. Like you can definitely maximize for Huerter's value a lot better, in my opinion, than doing something like that.
Yeah. Text line saying Robert Williams is 12 million ish. Love that guy, but not what we need. Not for Kevin Huerter. I'm not against taking a flyer on him, but not for Kevin Huerter. You can get something else for Kevin Huerter. You know what this is starting to remind me of as we were just having some fun? We were talking to Whitey Gleason yesterday before crosstalk, and, you know, obviously there haven't been a lot of trades right now, not even a lot of rumors, oddly enough. And Whitey said that every season there is the beginning of the offseason, which is hot to trot, and you have all these rumors and you have all these deals, and then there's a little bit of a dead period. And then after the dead period, it gets hot again. We don't necessarily know when it will get hot again, but we're in the middle of dead period. It reminds me we're pretty nice, Chris, and I think people do like us because we tend to try to be nice. But as these trades come in, I do think a funny bit would be if sometimes we just Gordon Ramsay'd it. If there was a bad trade, right? When they hate Gordon, or they do it with golf too. When someone says, or no, they'll send Gordon Ramsay a picture of something they made.
Oh,
and he just destroys it. Right. And I just think that could be a funny bit. Sure. Or I can't remember the name of the golfer.
Donkey.
But people will send this pro golfer their swing, and he just annihilates them. Maybe on certain days we'll be a little bit rude and have some fun.
We could do it today. Are there some on the text line?
But none have been that bad. I mean, I do think giving up Kevin Huerter for Robert Williams is close to roast worthy, but not there.
And there's a big difference, like Chris didn't necessarily agree with Javier on Vacaville. That doesn't mean like it's a bad idea necessarily. Right. There's a difference between disagreeing and like being like, are you?
But that's the problem.
Idiot?
Kings fans are too smart. They don't give us terrible deals.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're not Warrior fans.
You can definitely do that bit with Warrior fans.
Yes. Yeah. Let's just trade Moses Moody for LeBron James. How about that? Youth.
And cash consideration.
No, I'm serious.
All right, fine. We'll throw in a first.
The one victory lap
not pods,
that we should take is, and not that there are a lot of double agents on our text line. They do pop up from time to time, but they really thought. I think what really hit reality for a lot of Warrior fans, they really thought that CP3 situation was they were gonna get Paul George. They thought CP3 was the ticket.
Yeah.
And then they did not realize that the Warriors had been shopping CP3 for a very long time, and nobody wanted, because Chris, it literally made me think, am I missing something here? Because unless somebody thinks that CP3 is going to be hard to get in once waived, why would anybody do business with the Warriors and pay CP3 $30 million? Oh, well, it's an expiring deal, and those can be very versatile. It literally made me think, am I crazy?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's why I threw a party when the Warriors waived him. I was like, wow, it's not being talked about, and it really flew under the radar in terms of, they didn't catch a lot of flack for it, but that's a wholesale admission of defeat.
Yeah, you lost Jordan Poole for nothing, essentially.
Nothing, for absolutely not a single thing to show for it. And, I mean, do you feel like, to that point, should they have made that Levine trade that was rumored to be made? It was Levine for Chris Paul and Wiggins, and at that point, it's really for the sake of saying, hey, we are continually pushing this piece that we lost, and hey, no, we didn't lose Jordan Poole for nothing. We got it we traded him for Chris Paul, who got us Zach LaVine, and you can still say, hey, no, look, we won that trade, or at least we're still fighting to have a spot in that trade.
I think deep down the Warriors organization believe that they can find a way to tap back into 2022 Andrew Wiggins.
Clearly.
I think that whether it'll happen or not, I have no clue. But I think that's what they think. They would rather see it if they can get 2022 Andrew Wiggins back than put themselves in that situation with Zach LaVine.
To be fair with Andrew Wiggins, though, we don't necessarily know what's up with him behind the scenes. So maybe that's a fair assumption by the Warriors, and just fans are like, hey.
The last 2 years it hasn't been.
No, totally. But I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah. So that's interesting stuff there. You had Jaylen Brown, so essentially Nike is the main, getting back to Team USA, Nike is the main sponsor for Team USA, and Jaylen Brown has had some issues with Nike in the past, and then he goes on to tag Nike and says, this what we doing?
Is he a New Balance athlete? I think I'm trying to figure out what he was or what he is now, but very, very
Jack Harlow is.
He's on New Balance. Oh
yeah, he's got that Kawhi commercial.
I thought you were talking about Pajemski again.
Oh yeah.
Where he doesn't he dunk in that? I hate that commercial.
It's like, dude,
I know he can't dunk.
Kawhi on one leg would beat Jack Harlow.
I know he can't dunk, and then
he's Adidas.
He's Adidas. Well. Then you have Grant Hill.
Who's the one that botched Curry's name in the? Was it Nike or was it Adidas?
That was Nike.
That was Nike.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, then you have Grant Hill, who kind of spoke for Nike and the situation, and Grant Hill goes on to say, I wore Fila, and kind of make makes a joke out of it and says, hey, that's not why. We're trying to put the best team together. And it's not necessarily because he's not on Nike, because obviously Steph Curry is under a lot of those guys, Anthony Edwards. It's because, when was that, Chris? A couple years ago, Phil Knight had some things to say about Kyrie Irving when they moved away from Kyrie Irving, and Jaylen Brown said, well, since when did Nike care about ethics? So he's saying, is it because I talked trash about Nike a couple years ago? We'll never know.
Interesting.
Yeah, but like we said, hey, somebody in there is doing some, and they all got paid now. Derek White, we can stop with the Derek White. Can we stop with the Derek White role player stuff or no? Because he's getting paid a lot of money, Chris.
Still a role player.
It's an expensive role player.
Yeah, it sure is. But he's the best role player there is, so you're going to get compensated for it.
It's expensive role player, Chris. 30 minutes. We do the best point guard in the East and the best point guard in the West. The Team USA veterans spoke about it. That's at 1:00 as well as a Lou Graham ticket giveaway. But coming up next, Albert Breer thinks the 49ers and Ayuk will come together and sing Kumbaya. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike to the left hand. The Kings lead by 3.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices. Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips? But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. Or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to NewNordicUSA.com. Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS.
Nighttime is the right time to track your golf ball's flight time at the Hagen Oaks Top Tracer driving range. It's more relaxed at night with people enjoying the Top Tracer technology where you can play Pebble Beach at Hagen Oaks. You can compete against your friends in a variety of games or just practice with the Top Tracer television technology. There's food when you're hungry from the Hangout food truck or enjoy a craft beer on the brand new patio with relaxed seating. And don't forget the summer-long free concert schedule. It's the Hagen Oaks driving range nightly until midnight. Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway.
18 number ones. What was I thinking? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, Dasha, Kelsey Hart and more, plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
is Sactown Sports.
UPS Chris says, Cam Johnson, it's a trade for Kevin. The next move has to be size. Honestly, I think it might be before the trade deadline. I would love to see that. Yeah, I think a lot of people want Cam Johnson and not just the Kings. And you know what that means? All of a sudden, the price tag on Cam Johnson may go up. I don't think first round, or it shouldn't be anything like that. But if that does happen, the Kings have to make another decision. But I think that Kevin Huerter and maybe a second round or something like that for Cam Johnson, that makes the most sense. The question is, how many other suitors are there for Cam Johnson or Dorian Finney-Smith? That Nets situation, they have the most random set of wings you've ever seen. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. You have the 5-3-0 defending their honor of as far as the Robert Williams conversation. I said Robert Williams and Chris Murray, even if Robert Williams plays half a season, and I believe Chris Murray is better than Huerter at defense, rebounding, and blocking. I hear you. You're entitled to your opinion. I think, and I'm not even if you've been listening to the show, you know I've never been that high on Kevin Huerter, but I do think that you can get more. It's more about what you can get back, and I think you can get more back for Kevin Huerter. So we will get back into that conversation around 1:00, and we'll talk about the best point guard in the West and the best point guard in the East. But Albert Breer, we want to get into some Niners here. Albert Breer thinks the 49ers and Ayuk will mend fences. This was on the Rich Eisen show. And Rich Eisen, when he gets going, he just gets guest after guest after guest. I think he had George Kittle. It's like I see nothing about the Rich Eisen show for months at a time. And is it on every day? I mean, I'm assuming it's on every day, but
they'll have hosts fill in for him and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, Kittle's around right now promoting receivers. That's why. Yeah, that's what's going on.
Right.
So.
Well,
that's
you need more as much promo as they can get.
Yeah, my favorite receiver too, George Kittle.
Well, that was the issue from Jump Street.
So that's saying they're not going to do a tight end show then? Yeah. Because I think that's got potential. Kelsey wouldn't do it, and that's probably why.
Kelsey. Yeah. He's too big for it. It's music.
And he's got some
right?
spicy rumors around him right now.
Yeah.
Go on.
I don't know. There was a headline: him and Taylor are having some issues. So.
All right.
What? I didn't know that was a show ruiner line.
No. I didn't hear about that.
Oh, okay. I just saw it this morning.
Travis Kelsey, it's the same thing with music festivals, right? There's and it's so confusing because Taylor Swift feels too big to do a music festival at this point in time.
Absolutely.
But Beyonce did Coachella.
And it was a huge deal. Yeah.
Right.
Apples and oranges.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think who else. I don't think there's some people that just feel like I don't want Rihanna. I don't think she's ever done one.
I don't think so. Yeah,
she's probably done one, but not since she's
not since she's
exploded. Probably since 2000.
Because I don't even know if Ariana Grande has done the circuit.
I feel like she's probably done Coachella. She feels big Coachella vibes.
Right.
But also
Sidelands.
Coachella is the most expensive one. So if you're gonna they got the money for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they got Frank Ocean out the closet.
Yeah, I think Drake did Coachella.
Say out the closet, but that's obviously
Yeah, that's a
shout out Frank though, man. Where's the music, Frank? Please.
He's done.
Where is the music?
He's done.
Where is it? It's been 6 years, 7 years. It's probably been 10 since Frank Ocean has released music.
Yeah.
What is going on, my man? This happens every single time.
Yeah, I think he's
Goodness
done.
gracious.
I wouldn't hold my breath for that. All right, let's get into this Albert Breer sound on the Rich Eisen show on the 49ers and Ayuk's relationship.
I would just remind people that things were a lot uglier with Deebo Samuel. You don't remember this, but 2 years ago, things were much uglier with Deebo. If you remember, the argument at the time was he doesn't want to play running back. I would point out that in the 2 years since signing his new deal, he has averaged more carries than he did the year before signing the deal. So, for all that stuff, and you remember that noise, right, Rich?
Oh, yes.
Where it was how ugly that got. I don't want to do this anymore. And he's carried the ball more since than he did that year. So I think this is a solvable issue because I know what the Niners' intention is, and the Niners' intention is to sign Brandon Ayuk long term. And they've been down this road before. They obviously went down it with Nick Bosa last year, Debo 2 years ago. They've found a way to get these things done. And the fact that as our buddy Mike Silver reported a couple of weeks ago, they've made offers that are over $25 million per year, tells me they're willing to go the extra mile. Now, does that mean that it's not complicated? That Justin Jefferson got 35 and CeeDee Lamb's still out there, and man, does Brandon want to wait for CeeDee Lamb's situation to clear up? So maybe the market moves more. And of course, all of that, you can't say that doesn't complicate it. Of course it complicates it. But I do think the Niners believe their number one receiver right now is not Deebo Samuel. It's Brandon Ayuk. And so, I think the guy that if they had their druthers, they would keep between those two would be Brandon Ayuk. I think you can see that intentionality and the money they put in front of him. And I think ultimately they will wind up getting something done with Ayuk.
That was Albert Breer on the Rich Eisen Show, senior NFL reporter and lead content strategist for the Monday Morning QB.
Gee, what a title.
Well, I was confirming with Nate whether or not, because it felt like, saying that Debo has carried the ball more since he signed. It doesn't feel like that, but it also just doesn't feel like Debo's been as featured in general. But I'll start here, and you can disagree if you want. The Debo thing, at least outwardly, does not seem like it was uglier than this with Brandon Ayuk. He was doing way less, in my opinion.
That's how I feel too. I mean, I'm trying to remember the antics that went on with the Debo signing. All I can remember was there was like that club
He's
thing,
in the club, and he didn't make that sign.
He did not make that sign.
Yeah.
He did not say.
It said
he specifically shook his head and went,
they said Debo's staying in San Francisco,
Yeah.
right? And then
Something
he said
like that,
no.
yeah.
So people said, oh, well, he wants to leave.
Right. Yeah.
Which is just a weird situation.
Very.
Versus Brandon Ayuk making TikToks,
posting pictures,
Yeah.
having his girlfriend post
I
TikToks.
post that.
Come on.
Girlfriend, they're in the parking. Yeah. They had the parking lot TikTok. They had
the friend IG post.
The friend IG post. They had the initially.
They don't want me, bro.
That they don't want me. There's so many. This has clearly been
way
worse to me than the Debo situation.
I have the stats on his carries.
I do.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wrong. If you combine the 2 years, it's more carries. So
Right.
in 21, that was his contract year, right before he signed the contract. That was the Debo year. when they were using it. 59 carries. He played 16 games. To be fair, the next 2 seasons he didn't play as many games. He played 13 and 15, but 2021, 59 carries, 22, 42 carries, 23, 37 carries. But he did have 3 and he had 8 touchdowns that first year, 21, and then a combined 8 in the next 2.
So would you say that Albert Breer was correct in his assessment that he's carried the ball more?
No,
He's technically correct,
Like, is it
but
pound,
it's
pound
like
for pound, I guess?
It's not really representing that stat correctly because, like, technically, yes, like he's carried the ball more. Like in his first 3 seasons, his carries went 14, 8, and then the 59. So the fact that he's been 42 and 37 these past 2 years is technically an increased rate, but he's never hit that 59 number again.
Yeah.
And so I guess to Nate's point, he hasn't played as many games, but even then it's like the volume has never reached the level that it did that one season. And, it's pretty significantly short of it.
Yeah.
And still, like, even if you're accounting for average yards per carry, that was still the most in 21 at 6.2. The next closest is 23 at 6.1. So it's a hair of a difference, but still, it's like he's not doing it as much. But yeah, I guess in some roundabout way, he's still technically right. It does feel like he's carrying the ball quite a bit. To me, it does, scoring touchdowns wise, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the Debo situation. Getting back to Brandon Ayuk to tie a bow on it for today, guys. Do you agree with Albert Breer? Do you feel like they'll be able to mend it because, hey, we know this is our number one guy, not Debo? Because I think just because he's your number one guy, I think that Kyle Shanahan thinks that, they went and got Ricky Pearsall for all the jokes that we have. I think, Brandon Ayuk's our number one guy. That doesn't mean we're going to leave ourselves in a bad situation just to pay him. I do honestly think that Kyle Shanahan, especially with Brock Purdy, feels like they can get that type of production maybe in total, maybe not from one guy. I'm not saying that Ricky Pearsall is going to replace Brandon Ayuk. I just don't think that Kyle Shanahan is really tripping off Brandon Ayuk as far as, will the offense be the same? I really just don't think he feels like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that's got me a little confused, especially now, is if the Niners are just, if it's just a formality that, the Niners are just playing the game right now, they're only offering him 25, but there's no reason to think they won't eventually get to that 20. What's the holdup? What is the holdup? If you're already, like, Ayuk has definitely made his stance known. He's not taking that number that the Niners are throwing at him.
Right.
I don't understand why, if the Niners really are adamant that, we're going to get Brandon Ayuk, we're not pressed about this, why don't you just get the deal done then and alleviate yourself of all this mess, of all this drama? If you were always going to get to that 27, 28 mil number, whatever the Niners negotiation tactic in this clearly has not moved Ayuk at all off of his stance.
Right.
I don't think he's going to take the lesser dollar figure. So why are the Niners willingly accepting this drama? And maybe this is a casual take, but why don't they just go up to that 28 if they're already at the 25?
If that's what they truly want to do. And that's ultimately the question. Coming up at 1:00, who's the best point guard in the West? Who's the best point guard in the East? We hear from Team USA and we hear from you. But right now, 12:45. Also, the Lou Graham ticket giveaway at 1:00. But coming up immediately, we have some Raiders talk with Devontae Adams discussing who he thinks currently has the QB job. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Sometimes your phone breaks.
Ugh.
Dude. What the? Oh, seriously? Hey, life happens. But at Verizon, we got you. Trade in any phone from our top brands in any condition and get a great deal on iPhone 15 with an unlimited ultimate plan. And turn
No!
into, only on Verizon.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here to remind you that the famous Bay Area pizza company Amici's East Coast Pizzeria now has a location in Sacramento offering takeout and delivery to the greater Sacramento area. You can check out their menu and order online at amicis.com and click on the Sacramento location. And as a special deal all this week, order any large pizza and get a second pizza of equal or lesser value for half the price. Use code HALF-OFF at checkout. So when you want a great deal on pizzas this week, use promo code HALF-OFF at amicis.com and Amici's delivers.
The weather is hot, and so are the deals this month at Premier Pools and Spas Sizzlin' Summer Sale. If you've been anguishing in the searing Sacramento sun, we're here to help with scorching savings on new pools and pool remodels. After 35 years as the region's top builder, Premier Pools and Spas has the hard-won knowledge and expertise you need to seize your summer. But act fast before these deals melt away on July 20th. It's the Sizzlin' Summer Sale, only at Premier Pools and Spas. CSLB number 589234.
Hey, Sactown Sports fans, get ready for an unforgettable summer with the Sactown Sports live events calendar, packed with the hottest shows around. Starting at Thunder Valley Resort, don't miss the epic Slash and Serpent Tour on July 12th. Then on July 20th, enjoy the incredible Miranda Lambert live in concert. And on August 9th, Jason Mraz and the Super Band are set to deliver an unforgettable performance. And don't miss this Live Nation lineup. On August 4th, experience the legendary Outlaw Music Festival at Toyota Amphitheater featuring Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. Then on August 15th, catch the iconic Donny Osmond at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Sacramento. And on August 22nd, don't miss Creed Fisher rocking the stage at Ace of Spades. Finally, on September 10th, the Doobie Brothers bring their timeless hits to the Toyota Amphitheater. For all your ticketing information, head over to livenation.com. These are the shows you won't want to miss, so grab your tickets now. And stay tuned to Sactown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento summertime heat is back. And of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
From the 916, I'm doubting Herter gets traded before the trade deadline next season. Never mind. Stop. Hey Siri, cancel. So they were doing a voice text. I was just having some fun with it. I was going Ron Burgundy. So they tried to stop it, but it came through on the text line.
That's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Herter is still on the team when the season starts. And, I don't know necessarily if there would be, besides the fact that, this roster could use some evening, some balancing. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think it's 100% a priority to get rid of Kevin Herter. I mean, I think that he still can be a productive player. And, it wouldn't surprise me if, Kevin unfortunately just gets the baton passed to him from HB as the guy who's going to be available at the trade deadline, but might not ever actually get traded. So, I think he'll get moved before the season starts, but if he isn't, I'm not going to be surprised. And it also wouldn't surprise me if they keep him moving forward, because I do think, the Kings were at their core built around shooting. And if you lose Harrison Barnes and you're going to lose Kevin Herter and you bring in DeMar DeRozan and you lose Sasha too. I mean, I think that you could potentially start to lose some of your actual offensive identity. And, I know that we played the audio earlier from Anthony Slater talking about how the Kings need to evolve, but I still feel like shooting is kind of at the heart of it all. So you still kind of need guys like Kevin Herter and frankly Harrison Barnes too. I think they'll miss some of the Army knife, the Swiss Army knife.
Do you think that at this point, and this is obviously speculation, and you can try to put yourself in his shoes if you want, do you think Kevin Herter at this point wants to be moved? Do you think he's just kind of tired? I mean, you've been in trade talks for, I wouldn't say, when did it start? This last trade deadline?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so
no one was trying to move Kevin.
Right. So it hasn't been a year yet, but it's been the middle of last season. And now in the off season, your name is being thrown around. Yeah. He listens to this show or anything that he listens to or reads, he's going to see it. How would you handle it? How would anybody handle it? Do you think he probably just feels just if you're, it's almost like you're waiting for a diagnosis. Hey,
exactly.
I feel honestly sick and I want to I've been Googling stuff and I'm scared. I don't know what it is. Doc, just tell me what, just get it over with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's probably a good comparison for it. Like, I do think that he's probably a bit indifferent. Like, I think he would definitely welcome a trade for a new scenery, but at the same time, I'm sure he's become comfortable here in Sacramento. And, when you go to a new situation, you have to kind of reprove yourself. And Kevin coming off that shoulder injury, I'm sure would like a little bit of familiarity and a little bit of some goodwill kind of cashed in the bank. I think he would kind of like to have the comfort of knowing, well, at least the people here in Sacramento, whether it be the decision makers or the fan base or a portion of the fan base, understand that there is a guy in here that they at one time liked. If you go to a completely different situation and you're Kevin Herter and you're coming off this shoulder injury, you don't really have the luxury of having the benefit of the doubt and, saying, oh yeah, no, we know Kevin Herter's a certain level because at some point it's going to become like Chris Duarte. It's like, hey, I know that I hear you're supposed to be like this. You're supposed to be this two-way player, but we haven't seen it. And so I can't keep running you out on the theory that you're eventually going to start doing what we thought you should do. So I think Kevin probably, like I said, I think he's fine with it either way. I'm sure at this point he's probably leaning towards a trade in a new situation, just so it kind of, like you said, it's over with. I know what it is, even if it's bad, even if it's the news I didn't want, at least I now know how to move forward. So it'll be interesting, man. I think that Kevin is a person, as a personality, is somebody that I think could see through the business of it all and would be okay letting bygones be bygones and kind of moving this in the past if he's going to stay. But, we also kind of saw last year he didn't feel awesome about everything that was going on.
Yeah, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I just look at that Harrison Barnes situation and just seeing him at the press conference for the Spurs. He just looked so relieved. He just looked incredibly relieved. And, for Harrison Barnes at a different place in his career than Kevin Huerter, but I do think there would be some relief for Kevin Huerter as well. As we get into one of the receivers on receiver, Davante Adams. Chris, I haven't watched yet. Davante Adams, what do they show him doing?
So
anything?
He also barely is shown in episode 1. He's featured more so in episode 2. So I can't tell you a ton, but I mean, I saw a couple clips of him and Max Crosby. That looks like that relationship is just as good as like what we were told that Derek Carr and his relationship was. Didn't really get much out of Davante Adams. It's interesting to me that they, in my opinion, and granted I'm very biased, the two most important people in my mind for that series in terms of entertainment was going to be Davante and Justin Jefferson. Didn't see much of any of them in episode 1. So
yeah, well, who knows? And it's just hilarious to me that all these guys are getting sent on these tours. So you see George Kittle everywhere, and Davante Adams has been on 8 different things, but this is Davante Adams on Speak on FS1, and he is breaking down who he think has the job for all you Raider fans out there as the Raiders quarterback.
Well, I mean, I want whoever's going to look the best, when it's time, when it's live bullets. So at the end of the day, I don't have a preference other than the fact that I want somebody that's confident and ready to go when it's time to do it. So whoever that is, that's who I want throwing the ball. I think right now, if I had to say, I think Aiden has the job because, obviously he was here before and that's the way that it was. He was running with the ones more, and until Gardner comes in and, takes the job away from him, I think it's Aiden's job right now. He doing what he got to do to hold on to it. We still got to keep working and, do what we got to do to grow and get better. We could definitely get better than where we are. He and I, our connection, him individually, even me. At this point in the year, this is not where you are going to show your best. So, throughout camp, when we start really going, the pad is on and, we're doing the real deal. I think that's when we'll be able to decide who the guy will be. And, I'll continue to keep working and getting that camaraderie with that person.
So it's a little bit of more of a nothing burger than I think we initially thought. I just don't think he's really seen Mustache Minshew a lot yet. And he's just saying, hey, well, as it stands, it's Aiden because Aiden's been in the building. He clearly hasn't gotten to work with Gardner Minshew as much as he'd like. For Aiden O'Connell, I mean, he was the preseason god, man. He was crazy during that. What was it, 2 preseasons ago, where he balled out and he just did not.
Last, might have even been. I think it was last preseason.
Yeah, and he did not look what we would have hoped for or thought if you are a Raider fan. So they got to do something. The Raiders, that roster, they've definitely made some strides in other areas, but the most important position you weren't able to necessarily go up in the draft and get somebody. So you still have Aiden O'Connell. I don't mind getting Gardner Minshew. I just am not sure what you're really trying to do. Are you just trying to? It sounds to me, if you're going in this direction, let's get into the wild card. Let's see if Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. Let's see if Gardner Minshew can get hot, or somebody or Aiden O'Connell can get hot, and we go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's more. It's probably leaning more towards nothing, but I don't want to say it's completely nothing because I think Davante Adams holds a lot of weight in that locker room. And I think the fact that he is still holding out hope for Aiden O'Connell, I think is a great sign for Aiden O'Connell. Like, I think, from the Vikings situation, they're I know Sam Darnold just walked in the building, but he was given the reins from day one. I don't think it would be crazy to assume that the Raiders brought in Gardner Minshew to be that quarterback one. And I think the fact that, Davante Adams isn't really on that train to me. I mean, if I could maybe stir the pot a bit there when there might not be something there, I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of something that he's not super, I won't say super gung-ho, but I mean, he's not in here saying, hey, we just brought in a guy in Gardner Minshew who, almost led the Colts to the playoffs. And, I definitely am excited about him and think he could really give AOC a nice little run. And, AOC played. It's just interesting to me that he straight goes right to Aiden O'Connell and says, hey, I think Aiden's got the job. Right?
Maybe that's just the safer route. And some people, Chris, it
definitely could be.
Yeah, some people are thinking about Davante Adams not necessarily being on the Raiders at all. So at the American Century Championship in Tahoe, everybody's up there. Nate's boy, George Kittle, is up there. A lot of people are up there right now. And Aaron Rodgers, there was a fan that was literally crying to Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. The audio wasn't outstanding, but I just won a Super Bowl. And Aaron Rodgers, kind of responds to that.
I want to leave that team.
That was me in the locker room after the Niners beat Green Bay. I was saying that to Brock.
I saw that.
I was crying to Brock Purdy.
So Aaron Rodgers was asked about what the Raiders are doing, and he ends his little bit as he's walking to the next hole saying, and I love Davante Adams. I can't wait to play with him again. And of course, Raider fans are thinking one more chance to get Aaron Rodgers, when in reality, it feels like if the Raiders can get some type of haul, Davante Adams, much to his chagrin, because I really do think he loves playing for the Raiders, and Bay Area
you would
guy.
have to in order to not demand out of there.
Yeah, and you said, his relationship with Max Crosby, and I would feel bad for Max Crosby, who's right in the middle of his prime, but now people are saying, are they going to try to pair Davante Adams with Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson for that kind of last stand for the Jets to keep that guy from crying and get them that Super Bowl? Coming up next, who is the best point guard in the East? Who is the best point guard in the West? And where does De'Aaron Fox stand in it all? And the ticket giveaway for Lou Graham. If you are on the app, might want to switch on over to AM. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The wild-eyed Southern boys are back. 38 special. Rocket into the night. Friday, July 19th at 7:30 at the venue at Thunder Valley. With Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner. And we were rocking into the night. Rocking Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss 38 Special Live.
Quick Quack Car Wash takes the drama out of keeping your car clean.
Let's wash the car. Don't spray the hose inside the car.
Our convenient wash packages make it easy to get your car soaked, scrubbed, and on your way. Protect your car from sun, rain, and pollen with a ceramic duck wash and get our in-wash light show and an unbeatable clean.
Oh, the kids filled the gas tank with water.
Of course they did. Quick Quack Car Wash. Come in today and get 25% off any wash.
Catch some Aggie football this fall and save money while doing it. Grab one of our all-new mini plans and save up to 40% off single-game tickets. With our can't-miss home slate of games this season, you can pick 82 games for just $60 or any 3 games for $75. Pick the games that fit your schedule and come support the Aggies on their quest for a Big Sky championship. Mini plans can be purchased by calling the ticket office at 530-752-2471 or online at ucdavisaggies.com/tickets. Go Axe!
If you've been on the American River, it's uphill, it's downhill. There's trails everywhere that you can walk, and it just makes you happy. And I couldn't walk, and it was terrible. I was turning into a real crab. I went to the Good Feet store, and I tried on the arch supports. I could not believe that I was not in pain. I can walk, I can run, I can jump, I can do anything. My name's Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
This segment is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville. Check them out at kiavacaville.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It is time. Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner, is coming to Sactown, and we want to get you in the building next Friday for the 38 special experience. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, looking for caller number 3 to score that pair of tickets to check out an unforgettable night of Southern Rock, courtesy of Thunder Valley Casino Resort. For more information, visit sactownsports.com. Caller number 3, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140 for your tickets to see Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner. And Nate will take care of you.
I've got a random. Well, I guess it's not completely random. Are you allowed? Like, how does the? And this is definitely a baseball question. Should be your expertise. What's the rules on saying no hitters? Is it just you can't mention it on the broadcast in the games? Like, can we talk about it? Is that not chill?
It just depends, right? Broadcasters, and it's funny. I believe away broadcaster or whoever is getting no hit. Mm-hmm. I think they talk about it because they don't care. They want it. They want to jinx it, right? It's the team who, or it's the broadcasters of the team who is doing the pitching there and the no hitting. As far as we're concerned, it's the same idea. If it's your team, you don't talk about it. If it's not your team, I don't think it matters.
Okay, no one cares about the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Yeah, Paul Skeens has a no hitter through 7 right now.
That would be insane.
Sure would be. This kid is pretty ridiculous. Yeah.
That would be nuts.
I think we're getting past the point of like, oh yeah, this guy dates Liv Dunn and like, yeah, they're popping on Instagram and yeah, this is baseball's way of trying to be hip and cool. Mm-hmm. We're not getting to the point where like, is this getting like towards best pitching prospects in Strasburg?
I think we're already there. I mean, I think we're already there. If he pulls this off, that would be crazy.
That's nuts. I mean, because he hasn't had a full season under his belt. I mean, he just kind of came up 2 months ago, maybe if that. And, I mean, he throws the gas. If he's got, a no hitter in, I mean, his first couple months in the big leagues, and I know he had another crazy performance. Really, I think he had a no hitter through 6 or 7 previously as well. So I mean, this kid Paul Skeens is really something else. I mean, this could really be something that does. I mean, I was kind of joking about it, but with his involvement in kind of the social aspect of everything, like this could kind of be a couple years later than it should have been. But this could be baseball's route here to try and reach the young folk.
Yeah, I'm trying to confirm because I want to make sure that I don't misspeak. But from what I'm seeing, he has not eclipsed the 7th inning yet in a game.
Okay.
So, and this happened with, what was it, the Dodgers a couple years ago? It's happened a couple times, right? Where it's, hey, we're going to pull him because he hasn't pitched this. He hasn't pitched this long before. So from what I'm seeing, he hasn't eclipsed 7 innings, but I'm obviously doing this on the fly here. But I mean, you have to let him go.
I'm seeing here on, when was this? May 18th. Paul Skeens throws 6 no-hit innings. Pirates rookie strikes out 11 in second career start. So in his second career start, he threw 6 no-hit innings and got 11 Ks.
Yeah, but
just turned 22.
Are you going to let him go?
I think you have to, right? I mean, I know this is kind of, it's sacrilege for baseball these days, but it's a chance at history. And I think, once he gets that first hit, for sure, you can pull him. But, this is also, if I'm not mistaken, should be right. This will probably be his last start before the All-Star break, right? So
yeah,
why not run him into the ground? And, this is a chance at a really, really cool moment. I mean, this is a great way of building hype, not only for him, but for your team and for the sport. I definitely think, you're not gonna take Caitlin Clark out when she's got 47 points or something in the fourth quarter. You gotta try and hit the spotlight if you can.
Yeah, I'm here on the full game log, and it doesn't look like he's eclipsed 7 innings. So this would be his first time. Assuming they leave him in.
Right. Yeah.
Assuming they leave him in.
Real quick, I just want to say we got a winner. Thank you guys for calling. There's one more giveaway tomorrow, but I think it's exclusively online. Simone will have the details for that. Alan, you'll have the details tomorrow as well. But this is kind of a special winner. I mean, I just kind of grabbed, third. I picked the third winner. I'm not cheating or anything here. Ward from the Sac Chat, who's a loyal Sac Chatter, been with us forever. He won the ticket, so he was super excited. It's great to have our. I think it's the first time as Sac Chatter has won tickets to any of our shows. So I was, it's great. He was super happy. He's taking his dad. So thank you.
Great stuff, Ward. Congrats to you. And like Nate said, we will have a giveaway of some sort tomorrow, and Simone will have those details for us at that time. Great stuff. Great stuff. It's also, I don't know if Chris is going to think this is great stuff. We have audio from the team, a couple guys on Team USA, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Was it LeBron as well?
I think Adebayo
and Anthony Davis as well. And they were all asked who is the best point guard in the East. Gosh. And this is what they had to say.
Tyrese Halliburton. Yeah, Tyrese for sure.
Tyrese Halliburton. I think he already did it. He was already talking about it on the bus.
Probably me.
Well, that last one, you know who that was.
Are we sure that was the right question? Are we sure it wasn't like who's the biggest front runner? Who complains the most?
Who's the guy who didn't show up after the in-season tournament?
Who's the guy who got to the Eastern Conference Finals?
They really just unanimously all said, it's got to be Tyrese. It's got to be Tyrese. Like, there's no...
Who else is in the East, though? And he's playing with them. So
Brunson.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Brunson,
the playing with them factor definitely is
Kyrie's gone now.
A lot of weight.
Kyrie's gone, but there's Brunson.
Drew Holiday gets a shout, right?
Derek White.
Tyrese Maxey.
But is Tyrese Maxey? He's a point guard, sure, but
I'd probably rather have Tyrese Maxey.
If Tyrese Maxey is a point guard, if we're calling him a point guard, I'm taking Tyrese
Dame.
Maxey.
He's not even the best Tyrese in the East.
How about Dame?
Dame.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's like we're getting wrapped up. It's just, come on. I get that he's your teammate and he's there, but There's other options. Let's just not act like it's just an absolute, okay, yeah, like obviously it's Tyrese Halliburton. Like I don't even know who number 2. Like, come on, get out of here.
They were way too confident.
Come on. But I don't even think they believe it. I think they're just trying to hype him up so he feels good about himself.
Kate Cunningham.
Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, if we're throwing Tyrese out there, I mean,
now that you look at the list, though, it's kind of ridiculous how weak the East is as far as point guards. When you scroll up, when you look at the name, Trae Young.
We listed them all. Yeah, Trae Young, I can say Tyrese Halliburton is better than Trae Young. I was going to say Darius Garland, but Tyrese Halliburton is definitely better than Darius Garland. But I do truly think that there is
LaMelo,
an argument to be made. LaMelo's got to stay on the floor.
Yeah.
I think there's an argument to be made for Drew if you want. I think it's probably a losing argument, but I think there's one there. I think Maxey definitely has a shout. I definitely think Jalen Brunson has a shout. And I think that it's just a bit dismissive of some others out there. And Dame, especially Dame.
Josh Giddey.
I know Dame is shaking his fist right now looking at this.
Yeah, Dame, what a confusing season for Dame and the Bucks just in general. Yeah. They're going to be looking to get some get back. Well, with that being said, now it's tough because as you go to the West, everyone is in the West. And when you call Luka point guard, is it Luka or Steph?
I mean, definitely those two. You could throw SGA in there. There's definitely more competition in the West. That's for sure. I mean, the fact we're not bringing up, we don't bring up Ja, we don't bring up De'Aaron. There's tons. I mean, Fred VanVleet would probably be a top closer to 5, but he would probably be a top 5 point guard in the East.
Harden's still in the West.
And
Jamal
Murray would probably be a top 3 point guard. It's a lot tougher over here in the West, and it's fine. This is just it's fine. Tyrese can have his shine in the East, but everyone knows that Eastern Conference All-Stars don't quite hold the same weight as the Western Conference.
It's just funny to me because I'm on this on Hoops Hype, and it's just funny to me that they have Luka number 1, but then they also have Kyrie on the list. It's just, I guess it's positionless basketball.
Sure, why not?
They're just both.
Kyrie's definitely a point guard. I mean, I think Luka probably maybe has an argument, but with how much he has the ball in his hands, it's kind of impossible. And funny enough, the Pirates took out Paul Skeens. Second pitch, there's a hit.
They took him out with the no-hitter?
They took him out with the no-hitter. Bottom 8, they take him out. The second pitch that the new pitcher sees, it's a single.
No.
They deserve it. And it's a 1. Allen, too, it's a 1-0 game.
I hate this.
I hope they lose. That's trash.
0 hits.
I'm the no-hit. I don't want to see a no-hitter guy. Okay,
that's crazy. That's insane. 7 innings. I told you he's never eclipsed 7 innings.
That's insane.
I never understood.
What is wrong with your baseball?
I don't know.
What happened to the sport you once loved, Alan?
I never understood that. What are you
soft
Pirates? What are you saving him for?
What are you saving him for? What are you saving him for?
Let the kids play.
Please, man. We're just trying to get a little enjoyment here.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
Man. It's absolutely, and again, it's the start before the All-Star break. If you're ever gonna have him go, have it do now where he's gonna have at least a week and a half, 2 weeks off. I don't get it. I don't know if he's part of the All-Star festivities. I know sometimes they'll have rising star games and things like that. So maybe that's a concern, is that he has some priorities to do for All-Star weekend.
No.
But if not, I mean, I really don't think it matters. Yeah, you're right. Like, you tell the All-Star coach or whatever, sorry, my bad. I had to throw a no-hitter the other day. So, yeah, I'm not available this week. I think it's ridiculous. And again, this is what's wrong with baseball, man. These numbers, these nerds, man, they've ruined the sport.
I just think it's disrespectful to baseball to just assume. I know he's a dang good pitcher, but I just think it's disrespectful to baseball to just assume you'll be there again.
Yeah, right.
You'll be in this situation.
Look, you're
again.
a rookie. You're a rookie. You have a long career ahead of you, kid.
Because if he never throws a no-hitter, this is going to haunt him for the rest of his life.
100%.
Right now, he probably feels, I'm going to have a million opportunities at a no-hitter. Talk to me in 7 years.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it's crazy. And, I just don't get it. I mean, you're ruining the experience. This is also, I know I'm the person who says I don't want to go to a game and see a no-hitter, but how about the fans that went to this game? Alan, it's 1:00 right now, and they're in the 8th inning. What time did this game start at? I know that they're, different time zone and everything, but these fans on a Thursday at, we'll call it 11 a.m.
Right, you took off work.
You took off work.
It was summer, but
whatever.
You took off work.
They spent their money. They took their time to come to your game at 11 a.m. and you can't even give them the no-hitter. I mean, it's just that is seriously a problem with baseball. You can't, again, you're not taking Caitlin Clark out when she has 47 points. I don't care if you're up 20, she's going to get the opportunity to score 50. I don't get the logic. It's not like it's football where it's a contact sport. I understand pitchers' arms fall off every single day, but come on, man, this is crazy.
I would argue that the Caitlin Clark thing is way less egregious.
It is.
I mean,
it really is.
We're talking about little, dinker hits that can happen. Anything can happen. Basketball, you're going to get your shots.
Yes.
But baseball, so many other things can happen. That's ridiculous. I'm sick. We had some nice barbecue for lunch here.
Right.
Our engineers whipped up some amazing barbecue. And now I was going to get seconds. Now I don't know.
No.
Now who am I kidding? I'm definitely getting seconds. Coming up next, we keep the baseball train going. A's, Giants, and All-Star game. Elliot Ramos. Did he get snubbed? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
It's a toss to McCaffrey, a cutback 130, breaks 340, McCaffrey midfield, McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and just all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year, and thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
From the 209, Damian Lillard is way past his prime. The only point guard better than Tyrese is probably Brunson. You guys stop hating.
Never. that's all I got to say to that. Never.
Stop hating.
Absolutely never.
I mean, is Dame way past his way? He's got.
I would not say way.
4 Y's in way.
Yeah.
Way past his prime.
No. I mean, Dame is still doing that thing. Don't get it twisted. I mean, he definitely had a down year, but Dame was going through a lot. I mean, he got traded. Doc Rivers said that Dame didn't even really work out this past summer. He was so afraid that he was going to get traded or getting hurt before getting traded that he said he didn't really do much besides run, and he kind of felt like he never got the into basketball shape until like 2 months into the season. Plus, he was going through a divorce behind the scenes as well. That carries a lot of weight as you're moving your entire life from Portland to Milwaukee. He was going through a lot. I'm gonna give Dame a pass, and even then, 24-7. The percentages were definitely down, but I think it's an adjustment period. I'm not afraid that Dame is now he averaged 32 points per game 2 years ago. Come on.
He was 24-7, and for his career, he's 25 and 6.7. So really,
he lost a half a step.
Right.
Chris, you mentioned Doc Rivers.
Yes, I did.
Are you guys watching Clipped at all still? Anything?
I gave
Alan,
up.
I held on to it
I'm
way longer than
hearing,
that.
I've seen a couple things hearing that it is bad.
I think I gave up.
Yeah. How far did you get?
Well,
He got pretty far.
You know how it is once your significant other is out.
Yeah, for sure.
It wasn't enough for me to, you know what it was? Because sometimes with superhero shows, she doesn't necessarily love those. So
Sure.
I'll just, you know what? Late night, both of y'all are asleep. I'm going to just fire this up
Right.
myself. Supercell on Netflix was ridiculous, by the way. Go check that out. That's one where I said, I'm going to just fire this
Right.
up on my own. Once she was clearly out on it, I had the decision to make. Do I want to stay up late and fire this up myself, or is it thank you for your service?
Right.
And it was thank you for your service.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but it's essentially the story about the woman who kind of outed what's
Donald
his name?
Sterling.
Donald Sterling, right?
Yes.
So
Beast
that's kind of what it is.
Yes, it's about
and then
him being removed as owner.
in the background they have fake Steph Curry.
Yeah, right,
fake-
because it's going on during a playoff race. So
Yeah.
or it starts right before the playoff race.
in what 13, 14,
something like that.
Something
Yeah.
around
Yeah,
there. It was right before the Warriors started heating up. It was, I think it was still Mark Jackson is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, like I said, and those things have to be really well done because there's no surprise. I mean, the issue with these shows is I was 3 episodes in and there wasn't anything being told that I didn't already know.
Right.
So why am I watching?
Right.
Right. If you got to either nail the acting and nail everything else because there are no surprise. I'm not learning anything new.
Yeah.
I think part of that too is they're trying to attract a different audience. You know, if they're kind of going from maybe like less sports oriented team, more that like, you know, drama. I guess that's what sports is too, but just a different audience. So they have to give them the backstory too of like what's going on, and that can be super annoying if they're just regurgitating, you know, stats or whatever happened. Like it's just silly.
Yeah, I also think the story itself isn't really that in depth. Like I was kind of surprised that they turned it into a whole series because I mean, like I said, I listened to like a docu-series podcast on it, which was very informational and had tons of interviews and everything. But in order to turn it into a full-blown 8-episode miniseries, it's just I don't know if there was enough there behind this. Like the story kind of is the story. And there's some aftermath that I think kind of slid under the radar, but there's not really much of a story there.
I guess
that wasn't already told to you.
I guess the one thing that I didn't know was her relationship with him, and
Beforehand,
it was a friends with benefit, or they were together, but they didn't do anything. They were just platonic in that sense, but he would buy her stuff. Yeah. It was a bit, the whole thing was bizarre. So I guess I didn't know that part, but I could assume that part. The one that I watched, and it was very similar. This was when it was, FX, Hulu, whatever it was. It was the Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. So for that one, I was a bit younger when everything went down. So it was interesting to me.
Or the OJ show, too.
Or the OJ show.
It was
so
fantastic.
it was interesting to me to see, well, how did the whole thing start? You know, I knew she was an intern or whatever it was, but how did this thing get popped? You know what I mean?
There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes of those stories. And that's kind of the point, is like, there's not really, I mean, and maybe you saw the show, the clip show. There doesn't, to me, seem like there was a ton that was behind the scenes. Like we know the story of what eventually happened. We can kind of fill in all the gaps there. I just don't like essentially the entire Clipper stuff. I don't think is necessary. Like to me, that's to Nate's point, I guess, maybe trying to bring in the sports side of the audience. But why do we need a fake Chris Paul? Why do we need a fake like,
because they thought they were cooking. That's what happened.
Yeah. No,
they
I
thought
think so.
They thought they were cooking.
Yeah.
And
they saw Showtime and they were like, oh, okay, this is what people
want. And as far as I would have liked to know, and again, I only got about 3 episodes, but more about Donald Sterling. Yeah. Why is he the way he is?
How did he become the owner? Is that told?
Exactly. When he was, basically how did he get to this?
How did he become
messed
so
up
great?
place?
How did he get this mentality?
Right. Right. Don't tell us what we already know.
Exactly.
I don't care. We watched the series. We know how it ends, right? So
we sure do.
So and then they're fighting in the tunnel. I showed Chris, and I'm talking to the audience here. I showed Chris there's a scene after the Clippers beat the Warriors, and Chris Paul is hanging outside the Warriors locker room. He goes, "Good game, Steph. You'll get him next year." And then the Warriors come out, and there's some cussing, so we're not going to play it. But the Warriors come out, and Draymond, they're saying, "You tap dancing for your owner." And then they start fighting in the locker room. And we're just sitting there thinking, did this really happen? Because with all these player podcasts, I feel like that would have came out.
Police presence,
Yes.
according to Charles Barkley. That wasn't that fight, though. No, that was when he was on the Rockets,
That was
Chris Paul,
different. Yep.
and there was a police presence at the Clippers game.
Outside of it. Yep.
An absolute classic on TNT, which, by the way, they still have a chance to match with all this new NBA. I don't know if you guys heard this.
Yeah.
They're, I think it was
They
like
have a
last
chance.
night.
Yes. Yeah, they have a
TNT can still match for the rights to get the NBA for not next year, but the following season. I think it's like $2.8 billion or something crazy. So
dang.
Yeah, and they'll still be on this year. I think there was a misconception.
This year for sure, yeah.
I think there was a misconception that last year was going to be the final year of it. As it stands, this coming season will be the final season of Inside the NBA.
Dang. Yeah. Coming up next, there was another team that wanted DeRozan, but the issue was the package. We'll tell you who that team is, and we'll break down a little bit of Giants and A's. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
So toss to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Everyone loves to be outside, and so do mosquitoes. Protect yourself against mosquitoes and West Nile virus by following these simple tips. At least once a week, look around your yard and drain stagnant water from any containers where mosquitoes can breed. Remember to use an effective mosquito repellent, especially at dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Close all doors and be sure screens are in good working condition. At the Mosquito and Vector Control District, we're here to help. Visit us at fightthebite.net.
18 number ones. What was I thinking about? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now, Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee. I love you just the way Dasha, Kelsey Hart and more. Plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by Bonnie Electrical Heating and Air and the U.S. Marines.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf.com's Alan Bastable offers 8 sneaky ways for stubbornly average players to break 80. First, play sensible tees. Hitting 7 and 8 irons into greens instead of hybrids give chances at 4s and 3s. Check the par. There's no shame in doing so on a par 70 course. 3, check the forecast. A day after rain can mean soft greens. 4, avoid big numbers. It's not the bogeys that will derail a 79. It's a couple of bigger scores. 5, you got to believe. Give yourself a pep talk and temper the feelings of gloom. 6, keep like-minded company. If you're a grinder, play with fellow grinders, or play with music, or gamble if that's your game. 7, a little luck helps. Even tour players recognize luck. 8, don't obsess over, well, breaking 80. You're going to know if you have a good round going, so have your partner keep score. At the 18th tee, ask where you stand, as it may affect the way you approach the hole. Sounds simple, huh? Now go out and do it and have some fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Major League Baseball annoys me. Pulling Paul Skeens is absurd. It's disrespectful to baseball to assume he'll be in this position again. That was from me. I tweeted that during the break. And now some people are commenting saying, hey, he was at 100 pitches. Sure. I don't care.
Great.
I personally don't care.
I don't either.
Call me old school. I am old.
Also, who cares if he's in this position again? What if you wanted to do it twice? What if you want to have 2 no-hitters? Like,
not his call.
I know, it just sucks. Are they even a good team?
I don't think so.
They might not be as bad as they normally are.
Right, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, it's like if you're bad too, just run it.
They are 4th in the division.
Yep.
They are 44 and 48.
Yeah, I know the wild card's super tight, so maybe they're still in the wild card race, but
no matter what, I'm on your side. Just run it.
Just run it. Figure it out later.
I want to know the logic behind pulling it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
3 games out of the wild card.
It's a pitch count deal. It's never eclipsing the 7th inning. I get why, but I guess, yeah, to that point, it's, hey, our whatever number of pitches, there's just no science on it that could specifically point. If he could, God forbid he messes up his arm the next start, then it would say, hey, well, what should he not pitch? Should he not pitch the All-Star game at all?
Right.
That's additional pitches.
Yeah, it sure is.
You know what I mean? Where's the line?
Slope. Yeah, it's a very, very slippery slope. I just think in general, like, you're trying to win this game today. I mean, clearly that's just not the Pirates' priority, their prerogative, but I would just think, you got to try and win the day. And to me, him being out there for 9 innings is the easiest way of trying to win the game. And I understand that, especially with your rookie pitcher, you want to have a bit more foresight, but I just kind of think that some things are bigger than your plans. And sometimes you got to throw plans out the door when someone's performing at a pretty historical rate. And the fact that, yeah, he had 99 pitches, but 11 Ks and only hit 1 bat. Like, I feel like you gotta give the kid a chance. I mean, I don't know. I just think that it's a bit too symbolic of where baseball's at nowadays.
From the 279, so many better point guards than Tyrese. And Tyrese is the most inconsistent player I think I've ever watched in the NBA who's been declared a superstar.
It's crazy.
But we'll have games where he has 8 points, but because he has 11 assists, that's okay.
Yep.
I have no idea how you can make that much money and be the face of a franchise, and it's okay to give 10 points. Well, I do think you can be the face of a franchise, but, the idea, and we had a different texter say that it's the only person that could question Tyrese is Jalen Brunson. So, yeah, I think there's 2 sides of this. I think Tyrese can be better, and he can be headed towards being a franchise player. But, yeah, the superstar stuff can be a bit confusing. Yeah. And then, Chris, I did read a lot of people yesterday saying, hey, for whatever it's worth, we understand why Tyrese was chosen for Team USA. Same conversation that we have about Malik Monk starting. It's not about the 15 best players. It's about fit. Sure, and they felt they needed a distributor.
Right.
And that's what they're going to get with Tyrese Halliburton. Got a couple random stories for you to go over.
Ooh.
Nate is going to like this one. Need your thoughts. And we have first one, Chris. This is not fair or foul, but I guess you could say, are you intrigued or not?
Okay.
Travis Scott and Ice Spice dropping a new song soon.
I'm good. I kind of missed the Ice Spice wave.
You're supposed. This is your group.
My group, like
Yeah,
you mean my
age group
demographic?
That's
yeah,
right.
Okay. No, it kind of is. It feels like Ice Spice is a little bit skewing younger than mine, but whatever. I would say
Sure.
I'm probably not excited for it. I can't remember the last time I felt like Travis did it. It's just a single. Or they do
It's a single.
Okay.
It's a single.
Okay, I was gonna say because a couple of the Travis collab albums I haven't been the biggest. The Honcho Jack and he had one with Kid Cudi too that I wasn't a massive fan of. Had high expectations for it. I'm out. I mean, I'm not Ice Spice doesn't really do it for me as a rapper either. It's
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a little bit too much of the not mumble rap, but it's
I don't
kind
know what it is.
Yeah, it's just not good to me.
I don't know what it is. Nate is busy chatting, so he'll miss.
I'm gonna
this
assume
one.
Nate's out on Ice Spice. Too.
I would
I'm
assume.
sorry. Can we get that one more time?
No. We're gonna move on. This
Ice
one,
Spice? Oh, big fan.
This one is more important in Minnesota as the state fairs are starting up. State fair starts tomorrow.
It does
tomorrow for Sacramento.
Wait, do all the state fairs go at the same time of the year?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
I think that would be cool, but there's no way.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
It's
no
not like state fair season.
I would also like to
It's
petition
all in
we
the
move
summer.
the state fair date, please. Can we move
Yeah.
it to August? It does not need to be in the hottest portion of the year.
I think that's all
It's
part of the
insane.
experience.
It's
Or
insane.
even if we get, let's say we get 1 day of rain, state fair. It's not going to be the end of the world. Put it
That
in
would be
September.
terrible.
Wouldn't be great.
1
That
day
would
though,
be terrible.
But that's better than having every day be 105.
It's
plus.
raining. You're on top of the Ferris wheel, or
Yeah. I feel
No,
like more
I
people are
think
showing
that's
up in
bad.
extreme heat.
Okay.
I
all
think
right.
more people would show
I'm not
up.
a
I think-
businessman.
Yeah.
So the Minnesota State Fair, you have what they are revealing: deep fried ranch dressing. Fair or foul? Are you in it or out? People do love ranch.
I sure do.
Foul because how does that even exist?
Yeah.
Like what is?
I was
the-
explaining this to Chris.
It's
Yeah.
really tough because they have deep fried ice cream as well.
That's right.
I guess it would be the same.
It's just you freeze it as frozen as possible, and then you batter it while frozen, and then you just drop it in the fryer, pull it out
Okay, but
immediately.
you're not eating ranch like ice cream. Like
No, but you
Not
buy the
traditionally, but
batter
this one
makes
you
it
could.
so that it's
Right.
not necessarily just ranch, it's the
Right.
batter and ranch.
all right, foul.
I would
Easily
say it's
foul.
I think you're in on that, Nate.
Easily. No, I'm telling you right now. I'm
Nate's
out.
gonna have that
What are
on
you
top of his
saying?
pizza at 10 a.m.
It would be good as a topper. Now that's a difference. If we're talking about a topping, that'd be decent, so you don't have to, load your pizza
In a
up with
sandwich
ranch
or in a
anyway.
or a
A
sandwich.
sandwich works too. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, to Nate's point, like I don't think anyone's just housing. I know there's the joke. Would you like some pizza with that ranch?
Yes.
And I definitely fall under that category. But
I think you're in on the deep fried ranch.
I'm not. I'm just
I
not.
think you
Why
try.
are you pushing your agenda on us? Like, what is this?
I just
Why
have
do you
the
want?
thought of like you bite into it and then have you ever had the Cinnabon Delights from
No.
shameless
Taco
plug
Bell?
of Taco Bell?
Yeah.
The worst part about it is you bite into it and then it's just it
What are you
things
trying
happen.
to say?
Things
Sure.
happen when you bite into
Like a
the
tocino
Cinnabon-
pizza roll. It's like a
Yeah.
tocino pizza roll,
Yes.
but with just ranch.
It's
Yeah,
a little
and
more
that sounds
explosive,
disgusting.
is what I would say. It's a
That
little more
sounds
explosive
gross.
than your typical pizza roll, but it's
Don't knock
it's
it
a
till you
problem.
try it.
It's a problem.
I'll try it, but I'm not going to Minnesota.
Yeah. Also, like seems
Minnesota
like something,
State Fair is one of a kind.
it's kind of legendary, is it
Yes,
not? Like,
right.
I think they this is like their bag.
That's
is
their
that they
thing. So
do
if anyone's
weird-
gonna do
the
it,
super
Is
weird
battered
things.
ranch? That's their bag.
You only need one. Also, like what sick individual is getting? Yeah, let me get that 4-piece of the deep fried ranch.
How did you find out
That's
about this?
nuts. It's all over social.
It's all over
okay.
social
all
media.
over social
All right,
media.
all right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm in the dark, so
It's absolutely insane.
dang,
It's
dude.
disgusting.
That's gross.
From the 925, Nolan Ryan was on a pitch count. We just kept counting until the game was over.
Exactly.
America.
Exactly.
You know what? That's what this used to be.
It did.
We used to be a proper country.
We really
America, heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
And now we
Now we can't throw
now
over
we count
100
pitches.
pitches. It's
This
like,
is from
come
my
on,
guy,
man.
one of the best baseball accounts out there, Foolish Baseball.
Oh,
Paul
love Foolish
Skeens.
baseball.
Paul Skeens threw over 100 pitches 13 times at LSU last season, topping out at 124 in a complete game versus Tulane.
What are we doing? What are we doing? So the college, I mean, I guess, college doesn't necessarily have to have that much foresight. You just need to get them through the 4 years, but come on. I mean, what are we doing? And how are you ever, I don't know, it's a kind of a chicken or the egg situation, but these guys, they're never going to, their arms are only going to get weaker if you throw them less, if that makes sense. That's what I would think, is you kind of have to prime them to get up to those kind of numbers.
That's how it used to be.
And so it's just, I don't understand. Like you said, we used to be a proper country.
We did. And Whitey Gleason will remind us
he sure will.
Of that proper country. By the way, Elliot Ramos hits a dinger again. He will be an all-star, but he was definitely snubbed for the home run derby.
Yeah.
Stiles and Watkins.
That's all I got.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
I'm a very active person that likes to move around and go. The pain I was in was really excruciating. It was actually debilitating. I was basically heading towards a sedentary lifestyle. I had really tried everything, but I quickly lost hope with all of the things that we had tried, and that's what led me to the Good Feet store. And when I found the Good Feet system, it really just changed everything. It brought me back to life. I have my active lifestyle back.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Slash presents Serpent Festival, a celebration of the blues. Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley, starring Slash, Warren Haynes Band, Samantha Fish,
Y'all guess it's like a death wish.
and Eric Gales.
It's gonna be a steep climb.
Don't miss an all-star night of blues, Friday, July 12th at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Serpent Festival.
Joined by Whitey Gleason of the Drive Guys from UPS Chris. Skeens had one walk. Do you think if he had a perfect game, would they keep him in? I feel for Pirates fans as it is hard being an A's fan. I think they pull him either way.
Yep. Yeah, probably, right?
Yep. And you know, Whitey, I was
So
just telling
dumb,
Chris.
man.
I heard you back in our day,
Now.
where they would just let
Right.
throwers throw. You mow the lawn, and then you do it all over again. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Ask Whitey about the ranch.
I don't want to ask Whitey about the ranch.
Please, I want to hear him.
Whitey, you probably heard. He was right there in the back.
There's no such thing as deep fried ranch. It can't exist.
Yes, it can.
Dressing? Deep fried dressing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do with it?
You're supposed to pop it in your
Yeah,
mouth
like a jalapeno
Tic Tac.
popper.
Yeah.
So it's like a ranch nugget.
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly what it
Or
is. That's exactly
deep
what
fried
it looks
ranch
like
bite.
too.
Okay, deep fried
Yeah.
ranch bite.
Yeah. It looks exactly what you would think it looks like. It kind of looks like a polenta almost, and except it's filled with
What is
ranch.
the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Oh, that's a
Weird.
Yeah.
By the way,
unusual.
I did hear there is deep fried butter too.
Huh.
Oh my gosh, that's literally just
Say
a heart
hello to
attack.
your arteries.
I think I had one of those cheeseburgers at the fair once where it's donuts like.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's
had
not
one of
really that
those. I
weird.
had one
did
of
have
those.
Here's a
one,
picture
so-
of the
Sweet
deep
and
fried
salty.
ranch for what it's
Oh,
worth.
all
So
right.
it's like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
I
Weirdest
spooned
thing.
a whole thing of concentrated orange juice one time.
Really?
Oh, like the pulp?
No, like you get
The
it
frozen-
Winco and the frozen
Yeah.
thing. I was a child, disgusting thinking back, but I did it.
And you didn't get a cold for like 4 years.
No, I'm superhuman.
Yeah.
Packing that vitamin C.
Weirdest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Gator is that weird. I had that in
It's exotic. I don't know
Nolans.
if that's weird.
where I had that.
Yeah, gotcha.
Well, my deep fried Snickers, I don't think that's that weird either.
You ever had those little baby octopus that you just
Like calamari?
No, it's like an octopus. And it's not
no.
deep
Wow.
fried or anything. I've had
Oh,
that.
no.
You have them like in the hot chili oil. And
My God.
I'm in though. I
Yeah.
would.
I don't know. Might be a
Would.
little too chewy.
It's very chewy. That's why you just go.
Oh.
Like an oyster.
I know that's not making it
Yeah.
sound more appealing.
No,
to
it
me.
definitely is. I had mac
You
and
may be
well,
right, you may
this
have
isn't weird. Mac and cheese burger. You put mac and cheese on the burger.
That's not weird at all.
It's not weird. It's not good for you, but it's not.
When I
weird.
was younger, especially now, I didn't think it was strange at the time, but looking back, I would never do it again. Is like I would eat noodles that weren't cooked. Like you would just grab 5 to 10 noodles and just kind of chomp on it like a carrot. Probably was not the most sane thing that I ever did. That's
Al
probably
dente.
it. Yeah, incredibly al dente.
I used to work with him.
Yeah.
He did a morning show.
I used to make a sandwich. It was carrot and peanut butter.
Carrot and peanut butter.
Why?
Yeah, why that? Is that was
You're
out
making
of your
that
own
up.
mind?
Yeah.
Huh.
Call my sister.
That's pretty
Eat the
strange.
house.
I do have her number.
Okay. I will. Okay.
Yeah, we'll deal with that after the show.
Can I ask you another question?
Yes.
Not to show your advice.
Why not?
Saw something today, getting ready for the show, and it's kind of the
Yes.
silly season, right?
A little bit, yeah.
And I saw
Are
something.
you talking about the deep fried ranch? Yeah, no, it's definitely silly season.
When I saw this, I thought that's the dumbest thing I ever saw.
Mm.
Then the more I thought about it, I thought, oh, maybe we should talk about that. So I really don't know. Part of me is saying, really stupid. You shouldn't even think about it. The other half is saying, oh, let's do that. Was it NFL.com? Or SI.com? They asked a bunch of their writers, what teams are going to win the next 5 Super Bowls?
I saw that article too.
What?
We passed
And then-
on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
you-
because I
maybe
wasn't
that's
sure
the
what
move.
to do with
And
it.
they had like 5 or 6 some guys like Albert
Breer
Breer
was one of them.
Some other
yeah.
people I don't know. And then
Yeah.
like list. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Oh,
Somebody said Chiefs twice.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah.
Someone's gonna get it right though.
no one's gonna get it
No,
right.
I don't think anyone's gonna get it right.
I'm gonna get it right. I will say Texans.
So see, you're with me. It's like you can't resist, right?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
Chris is like,
we're in
nope,
the
not going
exercise
there.
as well, but
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not-
Chiefs will get another one. It is tough because will the Ravens ever do it? Who knows? I don't know.
But not the Eagles, right? They're not gonna
I think the Eagles will.
What?
They'll sneak something. I'm not that high on Jalen Hurts. I
Then how is he gonna
I
win a
want to
Super
be.
Bowl in the next 5 years?
Push his way there.
All right.
I'm really trying to think now. I mean, yeah, I think
I think the Niners
obviously the Chiefs
will
feel-
have to figure it out.
It's so pointless. We don't even
but it's
know
either
what teams
now
will
or
be like.
never.
Yeah.
It's like if the Niners don't win one in the next year or two, then it's like, do you think that they're going to win one on the back end of that 5?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Niners, Texans, Chiefs.
I think those are all good bets. I think
Ravens
those
is
are all really
tough,
good bets.
man.
Yeah. You don't think the
need
Bills
one
might
more.
sneak
I
one
think
in?
Bills are
mean,
done.
they've kind of
I
moved.
think
to
Bills are done.
What about
Dolphins,
the Burrow
perhaps?
bunch?
Burrow bunch.
No,
No.
I think we're we're going to start approaching a very dangerous.
Got all AFC. And
and maybe who knows? Chargers might get.
Go Chargers,
man. Yeah, Harbaugh. You got Harbaugh in there now.
All right. Well, thank you for playing.
Yeah.
No Raiders in there. You don't want to maybe sneak one in.
Well, once they get Shador, so maybe
Green Bay might sneak in.
Oh, Green Bay. Oh yeah, Chris.
Like 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Well, Detroit's going to win a couple in there.
Hold on. Let's pump our brakes,
Bears
here, ladies
coming
and gentlemen.
around.
Please.
Yeah, Bears.
Let's please pump the brakes here, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Darnold looks great for everybody asking. Thanks. Okay.
What about McCarthy?
He looks fantastic.
What about the Cowboys?
They're going to win this year.
No.
What about him?
Cowboys, no.
You hear Dak's in a walking boot right now? He's out in Cabo, and there's pictures of him with a walking boot.
You know what that means?
Trey Lance.
Let's go.
Oh, boy.
Trey season.
Trey's second
upon us.
chance.
So, Whitey, what basketball did you catch yesterday? All of it. None of it?
Mostly, I watched the USA Canada. I watched the beginning of the Mitch Richmond Classic, and I saw the very end of it.
The
And
Willie Cauley-Stein Classic.
I thought Keon thought they were down by 2. I thought he pulled up
on the
for
final
3.
play. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, in the final play.
Yeah, because they're down 1, and he
did kind of veer it.
Krzyzewski was shooting free throws. If he made them all, they would have been down
2.
3.
I think they would have been. I think it was tied at the time.
So anyway,
that put them up 1. Yeah, they won 91-90.
So they would have been down 3 if he made them all.
Yeah, because he
And
missed
I
the
think
second
he thought,
one. Yeah.
I think in his mind he's like, oh, we're down 3. I don't know. It just they didn't have a timeout left.
Yeah. Did you call the timeout? Mason Jones called the timeout.
9:35
There's like
left, I think.
9 or 10 minutes left, and you could see Jawad Williams being like, "What are we doing, guys? Like now we can't stop the
Saying
game
like,
for
that's
10
their
minutes."
last time out.
Yeah.
I know our guys Saint on the call.
Yeah.
It was pretty great. I was telling Alan, we love Saint, we love Kevin Dana. I think we've had them both on at different points.
Yeah.
Bit of a Warrior broadcast there, huh?
Yeah.
I told Chris, and obviously, yes, Kevin Dan is my guy.
Yes, that is
my
like a guy. Yeah.
I thought it was a Warrior. I didn't know. I thought it was supposed to be a Warriors broadcast. That's what I thought until I talked to Chris.
Yeah. Because I mean, the California like it's got Deuce and it's got Mark Jones, definitely, but you don't really feel. I mean, of course they know more about the Kings, but you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's I've got the glasses on, but it didn't feel to me like the Golden One Center side is doing a King specific broadcast.
Was that a feed that was for a Warriors broadcast?
That's what I'm trying.
It
No,
that was
national.
just the
to your
NBA
point,
TV broadcast.
Because I think the NBC Sports Bay Area, which would have Warrior games, I think they had the Giants on.
Yes, yeah, they did. Yep, correct. Did you have any quarrels with the trophy? Me and Alan were poking fun at the trophy. Did you see how massive it is?
Well, I first saw it when you posted the picture. I didn't see how big it is.
Oh,
but, yeah,
it is hilariously big.
I didn't know that they were gonna change the colors of the fronds to the teams that won.
Yes,
I think Brendan wrote that. I didn't realize they were doing that.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but it is bigger than I
It's
realized.
very,
unnecessary.
very large. Yeah, I'm trying to get a picture of it with somebody actually carrying it. It's almost like the Heisman. Like you could see these guys being like, oh my God, this thing's like 15, 20 pounds.
Can we just have the California Classic in Sacramento?
In Sacramento, please. Please.
Alan, can you talk to all your Warrior friends?
I can talk to him. I will talk to him.
It's just absolutely insane. And I didn't really want to bring it up, but I did tell Alan about this earlier. Can we also get people to pick sides in this Kings Warriors thing? Because, Saint, loves Saint. He does plenty of work with the Warriors. He was also the Kings coach at one point.
Yes.
Mitch Richmond, they had him introduced. Oh, yeah, I'm so thankful to have this trophy named after me. He's in a blue and yellow shirt. Mitch Richmond played 7 years with the Kings. He played 3 with the Warriors. At some point here, you got to pick a side.
Well, they're picking a side.
Yeah, they are. And that's what I'm saying. But
Chris
we
is
need
saying,
to remember which side of the fence you're on, because Steph Curry ain't going to be there forever. And I just want it to be known that when the Kings are on the up, I just don't want to see all of a sudden everybody switching sides.
Well,
and trying to
At
act like
least you
they're
got
always
C-Web.
on this.
C-Web's never going to claim the Warriors.
He never will. No, no. He never will.
Well, yeah, that is what's going to happen. And you know what, Chris? You're not going to do a dang thing about it.
Oh, I'm going to yell about it.
I'm saying,
I don't think I'm going to yell about it.
I'm saying you'll to fans, but
to this microphone.
Yeah, to the if let's say 5 years from now, whatever it is, and
who's winning the Super Bowl in 5 years? Who did you have?
Well, that would be
Chargers?
the Texans. Yeah, they're Chargers, but that's number 5.
Yeah, thank you.
And you have Mitch Richmond, same thing.
Yep.
And maybe it's based on the home. Hey, Chris, maybe it's based on where the game was. So what if he's there next season in so this is what's going to be funny.
Yeah.
Let's say the Kings finish better than the Warriors. So the Warriors can't figure it out. They lose in the play-in again.
Right.
Kings get to the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hard fought series. They lose to the Timberwolves, whatever it is. So now it really feels like the Warriors are in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Mitch Richmond Classic in Sacramento.
Yeah.
He gets introduced again. He's in Kings gear.
You sure will. be.
What's the problem?
You know, yesterday I was asking you guys if we should come up with a different name for the trophy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Bobby Gerald, G-Man's son,
Yes.
on Twitter, he said the Les Jepson Nut Tree Trophy. That's it.
Nut Tree does need a good shout out.
Mhm.
That's a good one. It'd be a great sponsor for it. It's right smack dab
Yes.
in the middle of everything. I'm not who is the person that
Les Jepson was one of the guys in the Mitch Richmond trade.
Sounds like one of my guys. By the way, as we come to a close on this Friday Eve show, 916 deep fried Uncrustables are fire.
Oh, I bet.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. It's a
Okay.
deep fried PB and
You know, they
chips.
make deep fried burgers too.
The entire thing.
The entire thing.
Dip it in, and it just kind of becomes like a Monte Cristo.
That's
almost.
right.
If we're talking Taco Bell,
I
my
worked with
friend
him
used
too. Al Dente. It was a good show.
Al Dente and Monte Cristo. Yeah. Those are my guys.
Dente, Whitey, and Cristo.
No, that was
Dente,
worth-
Whitey, and Cristo.
That
It
was
sounds
too
like
good.
toothpaste. What were you gonna say, Nate?
I was just gonna say my friend used to work at Taco Bell and deep fried crunch wraps for me, and that was crazy.
What?
Wow.
That was crazy.
I'm in. I'm in.
Wow.
And I'm definitely in to drive guys.
Rick
Whitey-
Barry today.
Rick Barry.
And Monte
Yeah.
Cristo.
Wow.
Monte Cristo probably call in.
Yeah.
Rick Barry, Monte Cristo, Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sack chatters. Nate, great job today. Until tomorrow, it'll be Friday. Secure the bag, light the beam.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a